But I say unto you, love your enemies. Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
Which is the first commandment of all?
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might, and with all thy strength. This is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets.
Master, thou hast said the truth. There is one God, and none other but He. And to love Him with all the heart, and with all the understanding, and with all the soul, and with all the strength, and to love his neighbor as himself, is more than all the whole burnt offerings and sacrifices.
Thou art not far from the kingdom of God.
That's weird. It didn't show me my intro, but I knew it'd be playing. And then when I put on my Jesus intro, it didn't show me that either. And I was waiting for it to unmute me, and it didn't. So I tied it myself. Hope everything else is working. 5 times 5, excellent. Don't start that. Oh no, sound stuff. Wow. Michael. I know the sound. I just listened to it. But thanks one for turning up, guys. Bless you. Second part. We've got we literally got halfway through it yesterday. I mean, after I got this one, I actually Michael showed me Wes Thingy's channel, Wes Huff's channel, and he's got it on there as well. So I could have used that one, which was slightly bigger in the screen and that. But it's all right. This one will do for now. I started with it, and for some reason on his own channel, it's half an hour longer. But that's probably whether we're talking at the start, at the end, and stuff like that, you know. Yeah, start off with a couple of gyms videos. Let's go see gyms videos. What, babe? You can chuck the bag. It's over there. Wow, you're like 2 feet away from it. Yeah. Have you got Rizla? I hope so. Right. Some gyms. Right, what we doing, Jim? You got new ones? An hour ago, look at that. Let's play the hour ago one then. But we still need to, there's this one's, oh, Roger's flight. 2 days ago. I seen that you did Jupiter's Banner an hour ago. I was going to say it says I've watched that, but it's because I clicked on it an hour when it came out. I haven't watched it on here. Right, anyway, let's start from here. Oh yeah, and before I carry on with that, let me say hello to people. I keep doing this. No, it's fine. I'd rather say hello than play. Baza, Michael, good to see you. Baza, good to see you. Jimenez, always pleasure. Crockett, Pleasure, man. Thanks for being here. And that's it in chat, but there's 10 watching. Let me just check, see if there's MD in the old Rumble side. And babe, Vicky, you're here, but you're behind me. You're part of the. Yeah, but you're the panel. You're the panel. No. Okay, whatever. You're in chat and panel. I just got a big mouth. Hold on, why is this one not playing for me? It's weird. The one in Rumble's not playing. Is it actually playing? Oh yeah, it's on, but it wouldn't play for me for some reason. Yeah, we're live on Rumble as well. Anybody in Rumble? No, nobody in Rumble as for the minute. But I do get the views afterwards. So yeah, bless you guys. Nice one. It's going away. Fantastic. Right, well, we'll try and sort my mic out in a bit, just waiting for a visit. All right, bro. Bless you, man. That'd be cool. There's a robot what? A robot Hoover and what? Yeah. What? Wow. Yeah, I think so. They'll probably try and take over your life. Yep. It's AI. They'll probably take over your life, babe. Try and control you. It might turn you into a battery or something. You know? Yeah, but you haven't got a robot Hoover yet. You haven't got an AI Hoover, have you? Ding. That's a funky one, Jim. Liking it. Liking it. That was that one. Jupiter's. Let's do Jupiter's banner. This one's for David Banner in the house. Well, if he was in the house. I think he's actually live himself at the minute. Hey Sandra, good to see you, bro. I think Banner's actually live at the minute. A water-powered AI robot. Wow, man. But yet, they can't get them back to the moon because they lost the telemetry data. But you can have water-powered AI. Mental, eh? News. And on the Rumble side yet? No. Don't seem to get many live on the Rumble side, but I get the viewers afterwards. Go put to the links either side. Hold on, who's TV? JV? Who is JV? Right, I'm gonna have to be careful, yeah. Hold on, let me just. Right, add to stage. JV? Hello? Oh, I see. He's got a picture of John Voight there. Very funny, very funny. You're such a funny dude. You must be a Birdman. You must be a Birdman, eh? Hey, look, guys. Look, there you go. John Voight in the house. Look, John Voight in the house. Must be a friend of the bad man. How you doing, friend of the bad man? What you got to say? What you got to say? John Voight's not as blonde as me anymore, is he? Shame. Shame. So lesbian John Voight here to the main John Voight. How you doing, bad man freak? Goodbye, numpty. Kick. Bye. Don't come back. Don't come back. Numpties. See what they're like? Anything to troll, man. I didn't even say it was. I didn't even look at the avatar. It just said JV. Then as soon as I clicked it in, and I put it, just in case we got porn bombed, I put it on blank so you couldn't see him. But yeah. And it's then I seen the picture. I was like, yeah, of course. Taking the piss. JV, John Voight. I'll show you John Voight, guys. I mean, now that's what he looks like now. But what they must be thinking of is like, you know what I mean? We even get bloody trolls images of John Voight, right? So
it says a lot about them. As
it does. It does.
They have to go out of their way just to troll.
Yeah, you can go away, Will Duffy's. Go away. Go away. So he's now Will Duffy's with John Voight. You can go away, dude. I don't want you here. Stop taking the mic, man. I don't want you here. Simple. No, hold on. I'm meant to be sharing.
Nobody wants you here. Go away.
Share screen. So, yeah. So this is just for people who don't know. This is John Voight. This is what he's. Oh, hold on. This is what he's like. This is what he looks like nowadays. That's what he looks like nowadays. But this is what he used to look like. Hold on, when he's younger. Let's see. This is John Voight when he was younger, blonde hair and that. So yeah, that's what they call me, lesbian John Voight. Eh? Idiots, man, absolute idiots. So basically, you're saying I'm a lesbian film star. Brilliant, fantastic. He's had a lot of success, John Voight, hasn't he? Yeah. Well, I haven't. So, what's your point? What's your point?
Better than being a troll with loads of crusty socks.
He's brilliant, Ray Donovan. Derek, good to see you, bro. He's the guy who catches giant anaconda in the Amazon with Ice Cube and J-Lo. No, he's not trying to get in anymore. The other one was the same. Another picture of John Voight, but it said Will's Duffy or something like that. Idiots. Do you know what I mean? What's the point? They can't even say anything in chat, but they tried to come in just as a bloody as a troll. See what I mean? Absolute numpties, man. Numpties. Anyway, I still had one more of Jim's things to show, isn't it? Oh, we're still in this one. So. Well, it's come from Bagman, isn't it? Because Bagman is the one that called me lesbian John Voight. So whoever had been watching Bagman and come back, it'll probably be the guy who was debating flats last night, or the one that was debating flats from Bagman's channel that PhD candidate said was L from ages ago with a voice changer, Joe with a voice changer. Hey, David Banner. How you doing, man? How you doing? This observation's named after you, by the way, from Jim. It's called Jupiter's Banner. So I presume it's named after you, Banner. So because of that, you've just turned up. I'll put it on from the start. And then we'll get on with the topic. Called Jupiter's Banner by Jim Anus. Yeah, I know. I know you were just streaming, Dave. I just sent everybody that you were streaming. So must have just finished. Banner's channel is excellent.
Is it good?
No way. Do you see how they're trying to trick me now, Michael? Look at this. Right, hold on. You see how it's like Michael Kahn doesn't need to be added to the stage. Michael Caine has got access to here. So if you come in called Michael Caine, prove it. Prove that you're Michael Caine. Prove that you're Michael Caine. There you go. Michael Caine to John Voight. Michael Caine. So Michael Caine, you're now John Voight. Unless it's Michael doing it himself, but I can't see it. It could be Michael trolling. But Michael, nah, I doubt it. Michael would have let himself in, you know. So there you go. Michael Caine is now John Voight, and then Michael. It said Michael Caine, but I had the starfish thing from what do you call it? SpongeBob. I don't know what he's called.
Squidward.
No, the starfish. Patrick, yeah, Patrick. It had that with Michael Caine. So yeah, so there you go. So Michael can't. This one is Michael can't.
See what
But it's got nothing to say except troll. Michael can't. There you go. Nothing to say except to troll. Look, nothing to say except to troll. Nothing to say at all. Just got to troll. Sit there and change names. See, nothing to say. Nothing. No, Mike can't. See what I mean? Yeah, numpty. An absolute numpty. Piss off. Right. Let's just hold on. Stop sharing and then it's share again. Sorry, I'm not stopping for Andy now. Andy, because I wasn't sure if it was maybe Michael, but then I thought, nah, Michael would let himself in. So see what I mean? They tried to trick me by thinking it was Michael. No,
it's not him.
I know it's not Michael. Michael would have let himself in. So they tried to trick me by saying it was Michael. And I was like, oh, Michael's not going to just lying backstage. He'll let himself in. That's how we knew it wasn't him.
Did you see Crockett's comment though?
No.
Remember, everybody, trolls. The hardest thing about being a baller is telling your dad you're gay.
Where does it say that? I need to put that up for a minute. Where does it say that? Where does it say that? Why am I going behind? In the chat. I can't even see it. Ah, yeah, there you go. There you go. Got to show that. Got to show that. So, Michael, it's somebody from Badman's that's got a grudge against me, you, and Flats, obviously, because come in, mimic it, mocking me with John Voight, then come in, trying to mock Michael Caine, as in Michael Caine can't, then calling Michael Caine a C-U-N-T, but in a different spelling. They're just idiots, man. Absolute idiots. Imagine coming in to troll that and not even say a word, just to troll, just to type some things on the screen. Even when I let them in, they didn't even have a voice because they're assholes.
Telling you gay dad you are straight.
Yeah, we'll just get straight onto the debate after this. No, exactly. They didn't have a payout. That's what I was saying. He's sitting there as a keyboard warrior. Wouldn't even show his face. Wouldn't even let his voice be heard. Yeah. I mean, I gave him a chance. I let him in twice. Didn't say anything. No. No. Hold on. Just hello. He. Hello. Wave. Hello. That's it. That's all it takes in private chat. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Nice one, Jim. Nice one, bro. Bless you, man.
What
Bless
a
you.
bitch.
I know. No balls. No balls. Anyway, let's just get on with the topic. We're 45 minutes in. Let's do it. Let's do it. Right, so I've got everything I need for the day. Yeah, I have. All good. All good. All good. Right, here we go. I think we're 45 minutes in. Yeah. Take it from
particularly on the West, but around the world, and how it gives agency to the marginalized.
Wes, can I ask you one? So when you, because I'm always interested in this, like you were raised Christian.
this guy who's meant to be the moderator, I think, when he gets the greatest love of all. Oh my goodness, Michael. Oh, can you believe that? They've got I'm not going to show it, but backstage he's got a picture of you know, the movie Brokeback Mountain of Jake Gyllenhaal and what's his name? Who played the Joker? Keith Ledger, Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger cuddling each other with their cowboy hats on, and it says PJ and MK. You know what I mean? Absolute. There you go. Look, quickly.
Troll, your mom's calling you. You need to go and clean your crusty socks about your crusty.
There you go. Look. There you go. Look at that. Look at that.
You are one sad little bitch.
And bye now. Bye. Idiots,
Yeah,
man.
bitch.
Absolute idiots. Numpties. Anyway, carry on. Let's carry on.
I always think about this, like my wife who's Muslim, and our beliefs at the core.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I asked him, I brought him in. He says, he had nothing to say. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Are so similar, but there's some differences. And I wonder, like, if I was born in Sierra Leone, West Africa, where she was.
Hey, Ryu came in. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. That's those are balls, man. They'll do the little memes, little keyboard warrior thing. They'll come backstage. They'll like to be shown. I'll even let them be shown just so they can get a video clip and go back and make. Look what did the DJ Michael. Go and make a little video and get your little followers to and like your video. Yeah, bunch of idiots, man.
I know in the Bible says Christ revealed, but C.S. Lewis is someone that I really respect, because I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a think outside the box always, and we should be. No one should just be like sheep and follow what any of us are saying. Like, do your research on your own with everything, of course. But what led you, going back to C.S. Lewis real quick, he was a famous scholar who was once an atheist, set out on a journey to basically disprove the Bible. As he went to do that, he himself found out that it to be like one of the most historically accurate written books, which really shocked him. He then became a Christian after that. He's done the Narnia movies.
Brokeback in English.
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, or their books. They weren't movies when he passed away. But he has an amazing...
Oh, as I was saying, when this moderator starts talking, it's just word salad. It's pure word salad. I mean, you wouldn't even think he's the bloody moderator. You'd think maybe he's the debater, but it's just crap he talks.
I love people like him because he doesn't just act like... He always was questioning everything. He's like, why is there this going? Why are these little kids dying, God, when they're... But
all he wants to do is blow smoke up Billy's ass. That's it.
But something that he continued to come up with, which reminded me so much of
Alan, good to see you, bro. Good to see you. Thanks for turning up.
Jesus, and the love conquers all things too, is when so many people overly get caught up on religion over the relationship. And he's like, I've actually met some atheists that are closer to God without even knowing it. And I've met some Christians that are further away from God without even knowing it. And I believe that too so much. And I'm just really curious, like, as you went on your journey as being like a historian, studying biblical text, and then being raised, you know, of the church, did you take it? I don't want to put what, because I have no, did you take it upon like, whatever I continue to discover, I'm going to have to accept, like, say something you did find when you were in Egypt revealed differently than what you.
I mean, when the moderator or the middleman, whatever he is, gets the mic, he's just garbage. He just talks and talks about, I don't know, to be honest. It's just words strung together.
Were taught, you know, like, did you kind of tell yourself, I'm going on a quest, like searching for truth without like a set conclusion to prove Christianity, knowing that it could go either way? Am I making sense?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a bit of an unusual household in that my mom grew up in India, and my parents, when I was younger, I was born in Pakistan, and I spent a portion of my childhood in Jordan. I grew up in majority Muslim countries and surrounded by majority Muslim environments. And we had, you know, a copy of the Quran in the room. In fact, we had the Bhagavad Gita and the Book of Mormon, and, you know, for a little while, other documents in our house. These were things that my parents, although they never verbally said, these Christianity is true.
Oh, by the way, he says after he did that one, he's put in private chat, the greatest love story ever told. That was his name. And he says, I can be back with one to add V in. So I think he's got to be back to add one with Vicky in. You could do that if you want, dude. You do that if you want. It just shows how sad you are. Shows how sad you are.
Yeah, but do you know the problem with these men
Mm-hmm.
that do that kind of stuff, like the anti-flat earthers and that? They like a woman to be seen and not heard. Like, I bet all their girlfriends just sit there and don't say nothing because they're not allowed. And when a woman has an opinion that they don't like, they think it's okay to call her whatever they want. But you know what? Call me whatever you want. I don't give a flying F, because you're nothing. You're nobody. You're just a sad little troll.
Yeah, it's exactly like this. Hold on, I'll just show if I put up the guy in the middle is exactly like this. Exactly like this.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Yeah, exactly like that. Exactly, bro.
Not forbidden. These are not verboten. You know,
Luke, good to see you, brother. Yeah, they don't have a girlfriend. They're exactly, bro. Exactly, bro.
Their hand is their girlfriend is their right or left hand.
Palm and her 5 sisters.
Aye.
Exactly. There's something reminiscent about this argument style where people say, yeah, it is. I get you. Raised a Christian. Yeah, I mean, what does that mean? Can you be raised a Christian? I don't think so. You've got to make a choice. It's not something you get raised into. It's a choice you make. So, yeah, Derek, get you, man.
Not if they're born into it. That it's not their choice because they're.
Yeah, I know, but then they're not actually a Christian. Then they just think they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get that.
truth, capital T truth, of the reality of the world that we hold can stand up against scrutiny and investigation. And I did do a great deal of that as a kid. My dad is a historian as well. He has a doctorate, and I grew up on him, reading the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. But at the exact same time, the reason why I actually went to university with full intention of going into the police force.
Oh, wow.
But it was interactions with Muslims and Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses and atheists and accusations against the credibility of the Bible, which actually piqued.
They could put them in this direction. I get it. I understand that. Because when you see what Muslims say about Jesus, what Mormons say about Jesus, what Jehovah's say about the Bible, that kind of stuff. You see the heresy in it. So it makes you feel inclined to want to do something about it. Just get the truth out, as what we do here. You know, as what we're all trying to do. Flats, me, Michael, everybody else has got a chat channel. Alan, Professor Harvester, even though Alan doesn't like him, and Professor Harvester doesn't like Alan, but they're both trying to do the same thing, you know.
My interest, because they would say things that I said that I thought, you know, if that's true.
Sorry, Mojo. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man.
Course, that undermines what I believe. I believe that Jesus is God incarnate. If I can't trust the Gospels as reliable first century eyewitness testimony, then I might as well throw all of this away, because I'm not going to believe a lie, even if it's a convenient lie.
Oh, by the way, 33 watching. Bless, guys. Thank you for being here. Don't like the number, but thank you. 33 oh, it's 36 now. That's brilliant. That's good. It's good to see you guys.
And so it was actually the exploration of eventually going into graduate college and then now in working on my PhD.
And hello to the 3 in Rumbleside. Bless you guys.
Largest secular university in Canada, that got me thinking, okay, how do we investigate these things? What are the methodologies by which we go about to explore the origins and...
Hey, Joe. Hey, on the updates. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. 33. Oh, here we go. No, you can be... I'm not showing that. You can piss off.
What is it?
It's PJ, Michael, and Vicky.
You really are a sad little
bitch. You can go. I mean, what's the point in this, dude? What is the point in this?
Because he ain't got a life, obviously.
What's the point in this, bro? What is the point in that?
Go and play with your balls.
You know what I mean? Absolute disgusting. You know what? You're just a coward. A coward. Hiding behind a bloody screen. Absolute coward. Piss off. Come back with something better, bro. Come back with something better. Unbelievable.
You really are a sad little bitch.
Idiots.
But how sad must your life be?
Of something like the Bible. And that investigation, with all due respect to Billy and the content that you put out, has actually confirmed what I believe. You know, I'm dealing with the actual...
Hey, Vlad, good to see you as well, bro. Good to see you, man. And Akinita, good to see you. And else, I think that's it. Yeah, good to see you guys.
Manuscripts. I travel to academic institutions, to other countries, and I look at these things and I read them. And it's a privilege to be able to learn languages like Greek and Coptic and Hebrew and Aramaic and dig into these things. And I think ultimately, I really appreciate what you said there, Mark, with your articulation of your personal relationship. And I think that's so important. But I think it's also important to remember that that relationship is based on something that's real and verifiable. And we can look into the evidence. You know, I have friends who are linguists, philologists, and historians. And when we look into these things and we talk with one another and we're discussing, we're constantly trying to falsify our theories, because that's what...
Exactly. And that's what try to falsify what you actually believe. Then, I mean, usually brings you closer to God, because you see more truth by trying to falsify it, like a lot of people did with flat Earth. They tried to falsify it, and they became flat earthers.
Did you see Vlad and the Akinator?
Yeah, I said hello to them. Yeah.
Good history does. We're looking for the falsification. You don't go in, ideally, if you want to be a good historian, with trying to prove your original thesis. You go in and say, okay, what are the avenues that actually could disprove this? And then how do we engage with those in an appropriate and articulate manner? So,
Vlad, notice how I can greet you all properly, lol. I ain't driving.
Makes a change.
Yeah, but how's Starlink holding up?
What I believe is true, but I believe it based on the evidence of the actual documentation. You know, I've read a lot of the literature that you're talking about, Billy, the Numa Lish, the Atrasis, the Bhagavad Gita.
This guy knows what he's talking about. You can tell Billy is really, really quiet. He's usually got a lot to say. So he was probably thinking this guy who's not going to know what he's talking about has got to be an easy manipulation. And yeah, I think he just doesn't know what to say. And all this, don't put out the footage, and now you put it out, I'm suing you. It's all damage control, man. I've got another video about from a guy called Shoda, as in Shoda, but it's like show the meme. It's called Shoda meme. And he's talking about them trying to sue and all that, and his rants and stuff. So depending on how much time we've got left after this.
The Epic of Gilgamesh, and I've read some of them in their original languages because
Billy Carson be big time bullshit. Big time.
I've tried to be a good historian and go back into the primary sources. Or if I can't, engage with people like my friends who are Assyriologists, who are philologists, and try to not just go off of a translation, but the original. And I think I've found largely the opposite of the conclusions that you have made, Billy. And I know that you are very passionate about what you talk about. And
he does seem passionate, but he's probably just getting a bit of information. He gets some of the truth, you know what I mean? And then puts his own opinions into the truth and makes a whole new thing, you know, which is based on manipulation with a bit of truth in it. So it makes it sound real, but it's actual lies. Actual lies. Sock time. Now I'm playing. I'm finished playing. Have a laugh. Have a laugh. And dude, I was the one laughing. You were the one not coming to say anything. I let you in every time. Every time I let you in and you didn't say anything. So what do you mean have a laugh?
Respect that. I just think that the confidence might not actually be backed up by the reality of the evidence. So when we're looking at something like the Sinai Bible, when we're looking at something like the Gospel of Barnabas, when we're looking at something like the Gospel of Jesus' wife, these are things that actually have provenance that we can verify. And ultimately, I think the answers to the questions of the legitimacy or the illegitimacy of those things point to not just a different conclusion, but actually the opposite conclusion, and that Christianity is true.
Well, now I'm glad you said that. So those three topics are a very small piece of my concept and idea of what really happened in the ancient past. So that's a very small fraction. I mean, that's less than 0.1%. You talk about eyewitness accounts. It's convinced you that
it's true that it's time he was sat in his place. Well overdue. Well, this guy seems to have done it. This guy Wes Huff. Sorry, how could I forget his name? Especially with what I've called the stream. Billy Carson's in a huff about the whooping he got from Wes Huff. Yeah, well overdue, bro.
Christianity is real. There's been eyewitness accounts of every culture that I've visited around this entire planet, and their eyewitness accounts of what they experienced is 100,000% opposite of what's in the Bible. People have...
what do you mean? Can you give me an example?
The Dogon tribe, for example, in Mali, Africa. They experienced a culture that they claim came to this planet from Sirius B. They have the evidence that they knew these beings were from Sirius B because they have the instruments that show the orbit of a trinary star system that we couldn't discover until the 1970s with our modern technology, okay? They understood not only the orbital pattern of Sirius A, B, and C, but even that B was a failed star.
Just talking about that just shows that you lean into heliocentrism and what they say in NASA and all that crap. So you're indoctrinated that way, you know? So it just shows that the indoctrination's already there anyway. But I just think you put lace bullshit on top of that indoctrination as well. Surely he knows, just because it says somewhere that Jesus wasn't crucified. Surely he knows this.
But you can't see it from Earth with the naked eye. They knew that it was a white dwarf. They even knew that they said that if you took a tablespoon of it, the entire tribe or 1,000 men couldn't lift the table.
Sinai Bible, wasn't it? Sinai Bible, whatever it's called. Yeah, it says Jesus didn't get crucified. Yeah, well, that's one thing it says it. When there's a lot of evidence, it say he did, but he takes the minority stance. Weird.
tablespoon. They understood mass and gravity as well. They were told the shape, the size.
Hey, Jeff Hunt, good to see you. You actually made it here. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you. And here we go. There we go. How are we doing, Vlad? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Okay. Right,
Sizes and the colors of all the planets in our solar system, which they recorded. And there's only one wisdom keeper, and that person can never be touched by a person. If they get touched by another person, they'd actually be killed. And then they eventually have a mentee that they break down that verbally handed down knowledge to. And that next person then takes over and becomes the wisdom keeper. And they've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years. And science, modern science, has found all their information to be.
Sounds like something your own cult would be doing, you know? Sounds like something that would be happening there.
1,000% accurate. Then you have the Hopi tribe of the Americas, indigenous tribes, Hopi tribe, Lakota tribe, also having engagements with these quote unquote star brothers, even having an account of them being taken underground, which you don't see just only in America.
Oh, good. Just seeing if you've got a voice yet. Speak, say hello.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, there you go.
Hey, God bless America.
God bless America. How you doing, bro? Good to see you.
Good to see y'all, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, you got to see on the.
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a long time since I've been able to converse with you guys and the family just normal like, instead of being on the phone all choppy like it's a Max Headroom commercial or something like that, man. Thank the Lord. So yeah, man. Billy Carson's at it again. This time he's met more than his match, and this is a good thing to get his ass on display. Everybody can see him over there just quiet. And somebody in your chat mentioned that as well. He's just sitting there quiet, learning, which I think is a good thing. He has to be humbled because I'll be honest with you, man. Anytime I see Billy Carson, like, I really don't want to hear it, because
no, of course.
with somebody that claims to know so much, it's like for you to act as if the flat earth isn't a real thing makes it appear as if he's been put there by people, right? And here's my theory. This is what I think. I feel that's the case. And they give him so much room to play with, and such a platform to do what he does. I hate to have to say it. I hate to have to be that dude to say it. But because he's got hairy hands like me, I mean, it makes it to where he's like it's like he's a trustworthy source, kind of like Neil deGrasse Tyson. So they use people like Neil deGrasse. They use people like Neil deGrasse Tyson. They use his color, unfortunately, to try and get people to believe what it is he's saying, even though it's bullshit. And then you feel guilty to say,
tactic.
Yeah, exactly.
Work for them.
Yeah.
And sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
The guy is backstage, the one that keeps coming in trolling. I am not letting you in again. We've seen all these pictures of me, Khan, and Vicky, and so now it's Khan, Peach, and me and Khan's holding hands. You know what I mean? Khan's the great girl. I'm the guy. Listen, go away. I'm just. There's no point in this. You're not even. If I let you on, you don't even say anything. You're just into troll. Goodbye.
I wonder if it's Brenda early in the morning.
It's probably somebody like Brenda. Yeah. I'll block him next. I never thought about that. So I mean, who's Mr. Protractor? Yes, it's about time. Exactly, dude. It is about time. Good to see you, Mr. Protractor. I think you're new, because I can't remember seeing you before. But thanks for being here. Sorry to interrupt you, boy. Sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. So
sorry, Vlad. I just said boy. Wow.
No. It's all right. I accept boy. I like boy. So if you mistake me for boy, that's a compliment.
Yeah, too late. Why not?
So
it's good.
Yeah, so it's bad because it's like they try to guilt you into believing him. If you don't believe him, you're a racist. Unfortunately, I hate to have to be the one to say stuff like that, but like I see it and I call it the way I see it. Whatever, man. So like,
It's like,
I sit back and I watch this dude, and I'm like, nah,
mm,
man, like what you're saying is trash.
of
Like
course.
he had an opportunity to say, hey, the flat earth is a viable thing, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's possibly some room for the emeralds of Thoth, then I'd listen to it. But he's like,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work. It's not good to it doesn't work here because it's not possible. The physics already shows, and I'm like, you're lost, bro. I was like, you're a Neil deGrasse Tyson 2.0, basically.
Absolutely.
And then
It's like when you just say you criticize a Jew for, I don't know, their artwork, just so they made a painting, and you go, oh well, I don't like that, it's not very good. You're anti-Semitic because you don't like their artwork. You know,
Yeah.
just anything like that. It's the same kind of idea, isn't it? It's
exactly.
beyond a joke, you know.
You don't like what I did? You think it's bad?
Yeah.
I wonder, is it because of the hat that I wear? What are you doing? What are you talking about?
True. Exactly. Right. That's cool, man. Right, I'm gonna carry on playing. If you've got anything to say, dude, just shout out, bro. Shout out.
Jeff Hunt, what's happening, family? How you doing, brother?
Good to see you all. Right, so yeah, Vlad, just shout out. Just shout out if you've got anything to say, man.
Yeah, you got it, man. You got it. But yeah, your stream is over there kicking ass. So I wanted to
Nice.
kind of
Bless, man. Bless.
Yeah.
I just came back from Turkey. You have the people from Turkey and Mesopotamia also being taken underground into a place called Derinkuyu by these beings, by these people, a structure that's built 12 stories deep underground, that's made out of volcanic tuff, a very soft stone. And if you don't know what you're doing, it'll actually collapse. There's no evidence of any collapse. And it was thousands of years old. It was reused many times. So the mainstream story about what it was used for to hide from Romans is actually false.
What's I'm saying? I think he gets a basic idea of a certain something that's a thing, say, and then he just puts his own ideas into it, and it ends up being just a big mess of somethingness. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And that's these globers find themselves in this trap every single time, man. Like they just don't know, you know, and I just don't understand how they can make these assertions and everything. They don't know when to back off and say, hey, you know what? That's a good idea. I've never considered it. And you might be right. There might be something to it. That's something we need to consider. Or not that it might be right, but something definitely we should consider, right?
Absolutely.
Because it's an alternative. Because we don't know. And to say that you don't know is like it's a godsend and it's a breath of fresh air, and it gives whatever your argument is, it gives it life, right? And it gives it room to breathe, and it lets people just ponder on it, as to opposed to what Carson is saying. Rebecca Kuyu, whatever, in Turkey, he's like, it's underground. Okay, so now here's the thing. This is what we're starting to learn with all this underground stuff, is that a lot of this stuff that was underground, there's a possibility, right? The possibility that this stuff was covered up, not covered up deliberately, but something might have happened. Everybody's talking about a mud flood or something. Something must have happened or could have happened. And so this is what he fails to mention. And just hearing him speak over and over about this stuff that he claims to know, like he was there. And I'm like, you don't give yourself an out every time you make these assertions and these claims. You're never giving yourself an out, man. And it's a
session with no way to go. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Trapping themselves.
Like all these people are talking about this emerald tablet of Thoth. And I'm like, do you know what the hell you talking about? They're like, yeah, it's real. It's real. It does this. It does that. I was like, how do you know? You making all these claims about all these things that you have no idea about, right? And, you know, it reminds me of the people that say, oh, I would love for them to give me access to the Vatican Library. I'm like, oh yeah? Well, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when you get in there? Do you even know how to read English? What are you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna look for some receipts? What you gonna do? You gonna look for a grocery list? That's the only thing you know how to read. What you gonna read? Tell me what you gonna read.
Well, if you can't read, you can always have a go in the chronovisor. You know, you can go and visit Christ and stuff like that just by
exactly. Yeah, it's like a view 3D. Remember the ViewMaster on 3D?
Yeah,
that little
exactly
red thing, little clicky joint.
You can't visit the place, but you can observe. You know, in
Yeah,
real,
exactly.
in real time,
Yeah.
in
They're like,
retro
oh,
time.
this is the Jesus slide. Let me see this. You see Jesus over there walking
It's
with Curious
madness.
George, and Curious George got his little hat on. Jesus meets Curious George.
Madness, isn't it? Madness.
Yeah. They're like,
Oh,
damn,
man.
Curious George been everywhere, man. Damn, look
Absolutely.
at this fool.
Right. Let's carry on.
Yeah.
This place is ancient. And in order to build it, you actually have to have foreknowledge of how to construct this type of an underground civilization that can hold 20 to 30,000 people, spaces for livestock, places for worship, with no sign of collapse. And you have to have hundreds of ventilation shafts. And I've been down there. Those ventilation shafts cut through solid rock all the way down to the core. And there's even more. It links to other underground cities that are
all the way down to the how would you prove that? How would you know it goes cuts all the way down to the core?
Exactly.
I mean, if they've only drilled to 8 miles, just under 8 miles, how do you know anything about any core, even if there is one, which there's not?
Well, PJ, I think he say it was 12 feet or 12 miles deep earlier. Did he say it was 12 feet or 12 miles? Because from what we understand, we've only been able to dig down near 7.8 miles, correct?
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, I wonder if like a few words of his ago, he said something like, we've made this, it's like 12 miles deep, or maybe it's 12 feet deep. I forget, or 12 stories. I forget. He said 12 something.
Okay. Yeah, I think he might have said something. Yeah. Hold on, Mr. Brooks says the Emerald Tablets of Thoth was made up by cult leader Maurice Durrell.
See?
Wow. See what I mean? And people just go with it. Some people will say something, and then people just go with, oh, that sounds right. Oh, that sounds cool. That sounds mysterious. I'll go along with that.
And I'm like, man, you don't even know where to begin. Like, let's deal with some stuff that we know we have access to, right? Let's deal with some stuff that we have at our disposal. We could talk about the true earth. We could talk about all these things because these are things that we can actually prove, right? We could talk about the earth being flat. We could talk about we're being lied to. And then things start to make sense. And then bullshit also starts to make sense, where you're like, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't fit anywhere in here. This is stuff that they can easily just throw in there to like muddy the waters.
Exactly right. Good to see you. Who just came in? Dorian and Jeff. Jeff Gossett.
Yeah,
good to see you guys. Good to see you.
Dorian.
37 watch.
35 watch. That's guys. That's good. No, it says 35 to me.
It says 37 to me.
But it says 35, yeah. So it's 35, really. It goes up and down, but it's good. It's a good turnout, guys. Thanks for being here.
Miles and miles away. As you get to the very base of this area, you can cut through and go to another location. But again, these people were taken under. Also, then you have the ancient Egyptians. Similar story. Major catastrophe comes. These people come and take them underground. Then you have the information in the Egyptian book of Going Forth by Day. More accounts by people, our ancestors, that have accounts that do not match up with the biblical text. And so all of a sudden we're saying that
that's the minority. You're taking something that's minor compared to something that's got more proof of it. Just because one says this didn't happen, but then 100 says this did happen. I think you should be going with the majority, especially when it can be proven, you know?
Yeah. And you know what, PJ? You want to know something that's crazy? Is all these people that give testimony to the scriptures, right? What ends up happening to them? They get killed.
Yes.
And you want to know something? They're like, look, I saw Jesus. I saw him. They're like, if you say it one more time, but you know how it is when you've done something or you have achieved something and they're like, you're lying. You're like, what do? You protest to the top, from the tops of the mountains, right? And you're angry about it. And you say it with your chest because it's the truth, right? So you know what? You want to know what this kind of reminds me of? So since these guys have been finding all of this old world stuff, another thing that they've been finding is all this old world stuff that's been then repurposed to become a mental institution, like a mental ward, right? So it almost makes me think that these people that might have seen Jesus and they testimony for him, they might have, if time is all screwed up, there's a chance that people that might have seen things like this, or they might have been around Jesus and stuff like that, they weren't only killed, but they were probably thrown in mental wards. If the timeline, think about it, if the timeline
Why
is
not?
screwed up that much,
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Why
know.
not?
I'm not saying that this is the truth, but there's a possibility behind it. Because
Absolutely.
mental wards were something, apparently they were something of the past. They were like all over the place. So if you witnessed something, they wanted to silence you. That's where they throw you. Oh, he's just crazy.
Yeah.
He's just crazy. So we just take him, we just dump him off in a mental ward. We lock it up and throw away the key.
Facts only. Thanks for being here, but everybody's a moderator because that means they can put links in. We don't get many trolls here, so why not? It's just so everybody can put links in, basically. Because in general, we don't get any trolls here. But if we do, Vicky kind of deals with them. I don't know who you are. You seem new. I don't know if you're here to troll or if you're here genuinely. But usually, people's second time here think they're cool. I'll give them a wrench. Not everybody that's subbed to me has a wrench. Like some of the I've got obviously anti-flat earthers subbed to me. They won't get a wrench. Definitely not. But everybody's basically, it's just so everybody's equal and they can put links in. Simple as that, you know. But I won't give a troll a spanner.
Yeah, but why do you care if everyone's mod?
I know. I mean,
It don't affect you.
I know it doesn't affect you at all. Yeah. Anyway, let's carry on.
Yeah.
All these cultures, the Aboriginal people, I can go into them as well. I've gone for walkabouts in Outback, in the Outback, and the Aboriginal elders, same thing. They were seated here by Pleiadians. This is their verbal handed down history for thousands of years. And I can go around the world and I can come up with all this information from all these eyewitness accounts from people that should be respected, dignified, and shouldn't be scoffed. And that we're now saying that all this information that they put forward, all their verbal handed down history, all their written history, that's got to go to the side because this one text is 1,000.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. You're a follower of Christ. That's cool. Hold on.
Pleiadians, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
The Pleiadians from what? Zeta Reticuli, something like that. Some craziness of I forget what the claim is. I forget. But that's what it is. They defer to this thing that doesn't even. Oh, it's these things from Alpha Draconis. You know that planet right there. If you don't know Alpha Draconis, you're the dumbest guy around. And it's like,
I know.
Oh, boy.
Well, it's not there, but it's round the corner from it, and then to the next next galaxy to the right. You know.
You should know it's the next solar system over. You don't know that.
Well, facts only. Thanks for coming. If you're genuine asking, that's all cool. Bless you, man. Thanks for being here.
Did you see what Jim said?
What does Jim say?
F around and you'll find out.
Jim, facts if around you'll find out. It's funny. Jim's funny.
1,000% accurate.
Sure, but so my question is, most of that is oral history, correct?
Oh, it's all oral history, even the Bible.
Okay, so when we're engaging with oral history, what methodologies are you using?
Oral just means spoken of. The Bible's not oral, it's written down.
Yeah, it's written down on scrolls, ain't it?
Yeah. It's not oral. It's not word of mouth. It's not passed on like Chinese whispers. No. So I wouldn't put it down as oral history.
You see that right there? That right there needs to be like clipped and like repeated over and over again.
Exactly.
And then they need to show them how is that, or they need to ask them what makes you say that the Bible is oral history, oral tradition.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And they need to like stick to that right there. That alone right there shows that you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Wow. That's what I'm saying. I mean, yes, people might have spoke about it, putting it on, talking about it traditionally, but it was still written down to back it up. It's not just word of mouth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whatever.
That's madness.
Using to confirm that the orality is accurate.
Oh man. Well, first and foremost, some of these texts cultures have written down information in caves. You've got cave paintings. The Dogon tribe actually have not only written down.
Sure.
In
No,
caves,
I don't disagree with that. The question is one of historic. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. The question is one of methodological analysis. So you have to have a method by which you can find either that something is.
Find out its accuracy at least. You know what I mean? Of course. It just seems like
throwing.
He gets an idea that sounds cool and right, and just accepts it and goes with it.
Just right. And then he's throwing everything at the wall and seeing whatever sticks. He's like, well, you know,
That's
the guy in the cave.
That's why he didn't want this footage to go out, and then now it's gone out. He's trying to sue the guy, damage control on himself, and he's doing a load of rants as well. I haven't watched because I want to do something on them, but yeah.
Crazy. Poor dude.
Falsifiable, or that there are avenues by which you can show internal and external accuracy of credibility. So this is what we do with documents. This is what we do with the ancient gospels. This is what I do. I've worked on Xenophon and Plutarch, and we look at the internal evidences and the external multivalent corroboration to try to figure out, okay, yes, we have
facts only, but yes, it was written down later on, but it was only like 60 to 100 years after Christ died, the New Testament especially. I mean, and they did have scribes as well. It's with certain places where they were writing down at the time. It was passed down to a certain extent orally, but
Ethiopia has their own Bible. The same thing. They have more books. You have to consider like what's been going on in history, if you could believe it, but what's been going on. Africa or Ethiopia is one of the places Europe could not conquer. They cannot conquer Ethiopia. Where the guy has his eyes set on Ethiopia and he's protecting them super hard. Perhaps that's it. But Europe has always had a hard time. In my belief, I don't know, I could be wrong. I feel that if Europe were to go to Ethiopia, they would have gone there. They would have taken. I think one of their biggest purposes was to go in there and mess with the religious texts, to go in there and get hold of the religious texts for the Vatican, give them access to all that stuff. Then they could do whatever they want with it. But now now what's been given to the rest of the world is the Ethiopian Bible with like what? You had, what is it? Was it 66 books in the Bible or 67 books in the Bible?
66 that we've got, yeah.
So now they've got an extra 22 books, or some people say 157. I don't even know what. I'm sure there are a lot more that the Vatican actually has possession of.
I think Ethiopia uses 88 books.
Yeah.
Right. But these guys have all these texts, right? And the Bible's written totally different from their perspective. Well, not totally different. It's the same, but it has a different flavor to it. And so it's pretty interesting. It's totally something to look at. If you look online, Ethiopian Bible, a good Ethiopian Bible is like around $150.
Wow, man.
It's pretty pricey. Yeah. So, I mean, you've got people that have this Bible, and this thing apparently is supposed to be like a couple of thousands of years old if we want to go with the official narrative of our timeline. So, no, you have other people that Europeans tried to get their hands on, but they couldn't. Thank God that they didn't. Thank God they didn't.
Exactly. Too right.
And so you have,
good to see you.
Yeah, boy, what's happening, man? So you have these guys there to give a testimony as well, which is great, because those that are looking for the truth get to compare apples to oranges. You know what I'm saying?
Aye, absolutely. Hey T, Ronnie, good to see you. You think you're new as well. Somebody said something there. I think it was facts only. The meaning, facts only said yes. The meaning, the people had to remember what happened. Yeah, but I mean, passing something down orally for 60 years is different. That then it starts to be written down, right? Just say from that. Then something being like broken telephones or Chinese whispers being passed down for thousands of years. The one that's been passed down for 60 years, then written, is more likely to be accurate than the one passed down orally for 1,000 years, you know?
And T. Roney mentioned that's not how they got more books in Ethiopia. Some of the books turned into multiple books. It's all the same text. I got that, T. Roney. And I think, what was it? I think it's the old King James version of the Bible had like 88 books in it, or it had more books in it, right? It had the Esdras 1 and 2. It had the Bells and the Dragon. It had all the,
includes Enoch as well.
Right.
I think.
All those books and stuff. And why they removed them now, I have no idea. I have no idea. But I'm just using that as an example. really.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, if anybody wants to come in, the link is there at the top. Just not the trolls.
Troll.
Have all these stories. Great. I don't deny that. But as a historian, as someone who's trying to figure out what is accurate, how do you know if I use the term verisimilitude, do you know what that term means?
No, but I can tell you this.
Yeah.
Tell me how the Dogon tribe saw Sirius B, knew the orbit of Sirius B, a trinary star system, accurately, and can show you the orbit with a special tool that they made.
No, they could show you the cycle. They can
Thank
show you
you.
the cycle. It's a
Cycle.
pattern. It's a pattern, not a prediction. It's a pattern. They observed it, so they seen the cycle, not the orbital path. Wow.
As soon as Huff says this thing that I have no idea, you know what I do? I shut the hell up and I listen. Like, what are you talking about? But really, Carson, he's not there to listen, man. He's there to talk. He's there to argue. Oh, well, the Dogon tribe, they knew the cycle of Alpha Draconis and Sirius or Sirius, or I'm joking, whatever that thing is. You know, all this nonsense that they make claims about. Like, man, shut the hell up, dude. That's not how it works, bro.
I know. Good to see you, Dylan, bro. Good to see you.
Dylan.
It was given to him by these people. How do they know the shapes, the sizes, the colors, and the orbital pattern of all these planets in our solar system and other star alignments that they would use to have something called the Ziggy and planet and their own harvesting and planting and so forth and so on? That's not enough evidence that there's something.
Well, I'm not aware of that particular case. And even, I would grant that, the ancient people are far more technological advanced than we give themselves credit for, just because they're.
Totally agree with that. People say that
smart. He's smart.
Said, exactly.
He's like, I don't know about that. I don't know, but what I do know is that they were a lot smarter than we are. Yeah.
Exactly. They used the technology that they used back then because that was available to them, and that's what they needed for their situations, And if they needed to be online back then, I'm sure they would have found a way if they thought of it. It's just they had the technology for what they needed to do. It worked perfectly for them, like we have the technology we needed to do. As for them being inferior in knowledge and inferior in technology and science and stuff, no, not at all. Not at all. Probably better than us, to be honest.
Yeah, in some regards, a lot better, right? Yes, especially when it comes to medicine and everything like that. It seems like, because what happens is we create like a template. Yeah. People see the template, and then you get scope locked into creating things based off of that template. For example, the car and the car model hasn't really changed. Steering wheel, wheels, 4 wheels, an axle, this and that. It really hasn't changed. The frame, window front, window back, window right, window left. So the car model has remained the same for over 100 years. Yeah, we don't really go outside of that. So it's basically everything, whether it's a Walkman, listening devices, headphones and stuff, these models remain the same. Maybe the way the ancients did things, maybe they had some of the same things for transportation, for entertainment, for communication, but maybe they used them different, right? Or maybe the framework was different to where maybe something like this was a listening device. I don't know. Or maybe something like this was a speaking device, speaking in a transmission device. Yeah. Who knows? But once you get, that's one thing I notice about us as humans is once you get a framework, once you get a model, people develop a million different things based off of that framework and that model. But it's hard and it's rare that we go outside of that framework and that model where it's understandable,
I get you. Because like most of the things you see being invented nowadays is based off something that's already been invented,
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Ancient doesn't mean they're stupid. I am well aware, as someone who has done both investigation of the past and done archaeological analysis, that is a reality. My question is simply, okay, you have these stories or you have these accounts, you're referring to them as eyewitness testimony. How are you going about verifying that as that?
Well, if the people had eyewitness testimony about Jesus, they then just wrote down their eyewitness testimony on a piece of paper or a little parchment paper.
But they've got like people, eyewitness, collaborated. Well, not they never collaborated, but their stories match up with each other, making them credible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or papyrus. So these people,
Right. So that's where internal methodological analysis.
Some of it's actually written down. So I mean, it's the same exact thing. There's really no difference.
Well, no. So you do internal investigations to figure out when something was dated. So something like so when I used that term verisimilitude before, that's something we as historians are looking for. It's a term that simply means the appearance or likelihood of truthfulness. So when you do historical analysis, it's an inference to the best explanation. So you have proof and you have data, and you're extrapolating that data on levels of probability. So some things can be confirmed as high probabilistically true, and other things are lower in their probability that they happened. But there are different methodologies, different ways
that's what he's doing. He's doing the opposite. He's taking the one that's more likely to be untrue and putting his own ideas in that and saying this is it. Perfect.
Yeah. And then what they do is they put this dude on Front Street, and then people swallow it, man. They're like, well, he's the cool brother, so I'm gonna go with it. And then that sucks for regular black folks. That's like, oh man, nah, man, don't listen, man, don't stop. He's poison in the water. Don't listen to that. And then it makes us look crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, Billy, yo, man, shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you talking about, bro. Chill.
Exactly.
you explore historically how that happens.
Well, that
so
was
for the Gospels,
that was,
we look at
with the Dogon tribe. Scientists went there to visit the tribe, and they still have no answers because they used their modern science. They took the best scholars to visit these people, and they're still scratching their heads. Something happened there.
Sure. And I'm not even denying that necessarily, but the question is, okay, we need different levels of evidence and exploration, not just scientifically, but historically, to derive something as eyewitness testimony. Now we have mountains of that, and I'm more than willing to go into some of that with the Gospels as early eyewitness testimony that can be verified externally and internally. But nonetheless, the only reason I ask, Billy, is because I've listened to a fair amount of your content, and I'm unaware of the methods that you use to try to discern between.
That's it. They never say that.
And this is why
he's on it. He's on it, isn't he?
Why Mr. Huff got himself in trouble.
Yeah.
He put their boy on Jump Street.
He did. Yeah, that's it. So everything that Carson's doing now is damage control, man.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, yes, he gives all the information, all this, all that, but his methodology, there doesn't seem to be anything how he verifies this all.
Yes.
He's right.
Bad place to be. But this is globe territory, man. He's perfect. he's right at home.
Absolutely. Hey Frank, good to see you.
Frank.
I think you're new as well. Bless you. You're welcome, man.
I thought that was Roger at first.
Yeah, I did to start off with. But,
I was waiting for him to come in and be like, "Hey PJ, hey Vlad,
more black
breathing."
Billy than any other right.
Oh, okay.
I was waiting for the Kool-Aid guy to come in and thinking it was Roger. Hey PJ, hey Vlad, breathing, and then you hear this noise in the background, just random noise. You're like, man, is that a vacuum cleaner? No, that's my juice maker. No, what are you doing, Roger? Damn.
Here's the real Khan. This is the real
Khan. What's going
on? How you doing,
man?
the real Khan?
How's it going? How's it going, Vlad?
All right, man. I'm good. How's everything with you?
Yeah, I'm sound, mate. Sound.
Yeah, that's the real Khan. If you look at private chat, Mike, you'll see all the crap he was coming out with. Just rubbish.
Yeah.
4 or 5 times you try to come in. Well, I let him in 4 times, didn't I? The last time I didn't. I let him in. Nothing to say.
Absolutely ridiculous people, man.
Isn't it? And it's stupid. Let's carry on.
Like, 10-year-old in a playground stuff.
Aye, exactly, man. Exactly. Who's clowns? We're all clowns. All right. Goodbye. Laters. You don't want, if we're clowns, you don't want to be here, right?
Go to your circus, African intelligence. Go to your circus, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't want to be here for all clowns. Babe, I'll leave that to you.
What is an accurate source historiographically and an inaccurate source historiographically.
Well,
Does that make sense?
I use getting in an airplane and traveling to these places, doing my own research, talking with the indigenous cultures, and researching as much of the text that is available that I can possibly find.
Okay. So I don't dispute that. And I do believe you have done that. But I mean, even from what we've talked about, so you've researched the text, but when we talked about the crucifixion, everything you cited was either, and I mean with all due respect, false in terms of the Sinai Bible, because Codex Sinaiticus is just a 4th century Greek manuscript of the Gospels that we have today, or they were.
She spoke about earlier on, and that he takes that is absolute truth over the more evidence of the crucifixion. And just because one thing says he wasn't crucified, as opposed to 100 things saying he was crucified, he takes the one thing that says he wasn't. It's madness, isn't it? Madness.
See?
Verified forgeries in terms of the Gospel of Jesus' wife.
You might be right. You may be right on that particular part of the topic.
Yes, you got stung by the queen bee, biatch.
But like I said, that's less than 0.1% of the information that I hold.
Sure, but that was the original question. So yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, okay, well, so I'm going off of what we've already talked about. So you said you explore the text. I don't deny that. But the evidence, by going off of what you have put forward in terms of the actual document.
Thanks, Frank. Bless you, man. Bless you.
Documentary evidence.
Man does have a Bible.
Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, his Kool-Aid man does have a Bible. He says my Kool-Aid man has a Bible. I can't see it in the thumb, but then you blew up Frank's. You blew up his blurb right there, and then I could see that the Kool-Aid man is holding a Bible in his hand. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's do it again. Hold on. Let me just put something up randomly.
There it is. You see?
So it is.
Yeah. I was like, oh,
that's
okay.
Cool. That's cool.
Not just less than convincing in my respect, and I mean this with respect because I think you have done a lot of research. You've traveled to these places. I have too. Like this is what I do as my career. But
there you go.
I'm not.
Billy thinks he's all wise in Auckland this, but there's other people that have researched it and been there to more than you, because like I say, he doesn't seem to research it too much. He might get really into it, but he adds stuff. It's not truth in the first place. There's a bit of truth there, and then he adds to that truth manipulations, his own thoughts. It becomes an amalgamation of untruths.
and the thing is, man, is what you have to do in that case, you have to say, here's my opinion, which really doesn't count for, and you have to be careful with your opinions too. And me too, with our channels, we have to be careful with our opinions. And not only do we say that there are opinions, but sometimes it may be good for us to keep some of our opinions to ourselves.
Of course.
Sometimes it's like, we have to be, especially the bigger our platforms get, we have to watch out with our opinions for sure.
Absolutely.
If we have the pulse of the people and we're like, look, man, those guys suck. Those guys are liars. Well, if they're lying, then it's a no-brainer that they're liars, right? Whether it's your opinion or not, we all know that NASA is like really not telling the truth. It's evident. Right. Even though that's an opinion still, we know. Look, come on, man. Them dudes is lying. Come on.
Well, I couldn't believe the argument the other night. Some flats is about NASA. Someone was like, wow, fighting tooth and nail for NASA. I'm like, wow, we got these pictures about this. I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah. NASA could defend itself. They got all that money. They've been lying since day one. So, but when it comes to like things like the firmament and everything, like I was a little bit nervous to, a few months back when I was talking about the final experiment, quote unquote, the stuff that they're dealing with now. The way I saw the sun coming up in the sun calculator website, I saw the sun coming up in Victoria. I think it's Victoria Land in Australia. It comes up in the southeast and it sets in the southwest. I was afraid because I didn't want to, quote unquote, muddy the waters. And I was afraid to add my opinion that perhaps I could be wrong, but perhaps there could be a reflective property of something That's why it has this upside down U shape in Australia. It could be the firmament. When I said that, you had people like, Jake the asshole and them were saying shit about me because I said that. And I said that's exactly why I didn't say that, because I didn't want people, I didn't want people getting scope locked into my opinion. And so I was like, I gotta kind of be careful with stuff like that. And like, I totally get it. And this is why I got a little bit annoyed with people that had, 100,000, over 100,000 viewers or 100,000 subscribers to their channel that went to Antarctica, that started making these baseless opinions and saying stuff bad about the community. And we kind of saw where he was going with all that. And, that's why I had to like kind of bail out from his channel, because it sounded like much of what he was saying wasn't evidence-based, but it was more opinion-based.
Of course.
And I was like, oh, you're going into globe territory. You're going into globe territory. And now, to me, he can't be trusted. But I'm not going to mention his name. I don't want to give him power. Oh, my bad.
Victoria Land.
Yeah. So it was Luke that showed me that. Yeah. It was Luke that came onto the channel and he showed me that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, Luke's good for information like that. He knows his stuff, man.
Oh,
and he's very funny. He's a very funny dude.
Yeah, he's funny. Ha ha ha.
Exactly. I mean, his Luca impression was ace, and your flat impression is meant to be pretty good. So I thought, like, someday we was thinking we should get you two together. You pretend to be Flats, and then he pretends to be Luca. What a stream that'd be a funny old stream, or just a video, a comedy video. That'd be it.
Yeah. Not really getting indication, because in history we go to the primary sources in their primary languages. And when Mark asked, okay, why do you deny the crucifixion? The sources you used were not primary.
Okay, we're still talking about the same thing over and over again. There's so much more we can talk about here. We're wasting a lot of time. There's so much more. That's this amount.
Okay. Do you guys
so much
think
more stuff to talk about?
Do you think that all these different cultures and stuff describing these other beings, could those have been, I'm not an expert theologian or whatever, but like where it talks about war, I always want to personally ask you this too, where in the Bible it talks about like wars between the demons and the angels. There's a lot of crazy stuff in the Bible too, that you can prove it's been written, but it also takes some faith, because you can't physically.
Yes. Faith is very important.
Have you seen that new film that's coming out called Nephilim?
Oh no, is there a movie coming out called Nephilim?
Yeah, I'll get linked for it. Like, it's literally pushing Nephilim and aliens and mixing it all together. It's crazy. I'll get linked for it. Like, so
that'd be cool, man. That'd be cool. But of course, there's faith involved, because if there's no faith involved, which God wants you to have faith, then it's just knowledge. What good is it if you just know, and then you're just complacent with things then?
Or there's these guys that have gone to places like Sodom and Gomorrah and stuff like that, and or close by there. And like, I was looking at where Sodom and Gomorrah is. It's right next to the Dead Sea.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's not too far.
Right next to the Dead Sea. And you know what's crazy about the Dead Sea is that the Dead Sea, if you look at it in proximity to the other bodies of water, so you've got the Med, right? You've got the Eastern Med, and then you've got south of it, which you've got the Red Sea. Right? Yes, the Red Sea, and then north of that you've got the Dead Sea, and then you've got something next to it. Now, how do you have a body of salt water? Because from what we're learning as flat earthers, this salt water has a job. It doesn't just sit there, right? So it has an electromagnetic, it's part of the electromagnetic battery system that we live in, which David Weiss so eloquently puts it, basically. So it has a job. So you mean to tell me God created the earth the way it is with the Dead Sea sitting right there? Something happened. And I just think, in my opinion, here it is, my opinion again, but I just find it, or rather, not opinion, but rather I find it funny that Sodom and Gomorrah is sitting next to a body of water that's north of the Red Sea, that is sitting right there. The Dead Sea is dead. It's super salted. It is
Yes,
dead.
exactly.
One time,
It's a newspaper.
yeah. So one time I feel that maybe something might have happened to where it lost access with the main bodies of water to where now it's a standalone body of water. How it hasn't dried up is beyond me, but it's a standalone. It sits there, and it is what it is, right? But I just find it funny. Sodom and Gomorrah is right there. Now you had people that ran research. I don't know how credible the research is, but they said that they found evidence of what? Sulfur in the earth. They found a lot of sulfur in the ground. So I mean, if that's where Sodom and Gomorrah was.
It's not just in ground; it's in like you can clearly see that there's like burnt buildings, and it's peppered all over, you know, and it's most purest sulfur you can find on earth.
That I did not know. That part I didn't see, and I'm learning something crazier and newer right now. So I mean, this is the preponderance of evidences that Huff is talking about, but he doesn't even touch on that. But he's trying to give Billy a basic rundown of, you know, the thing, you know, I guess this Veritatis Militutis, whatever that stuff is called. He's basically giving him a small
It's
rundown.
all there. I've got a video on my channel, Mount Sinai.
That's right.
It's in Saudi Arabia, not in Egypt, and it's in a range of mountains, and it's only one with like a black burnt top. There's like all petroglyphs carved in stones around it, pictures at Golden Calf, and all sorts. It's all there, you know what I mean? It's all there to be found.
It's crazy.
Ron Wyatt found a lot on it. Like Red Sea crossing, sand's burnt like glass.
Yep.
You know,
and it's crazy the stuff that the scriptures corroborates, and then you go there, or you know, people go there, and then they get to see it for themselves. They're like, oh my goodness, like I read about this. And apparently, if it was that far back, if it was truly that long ago, which I keep saying that because I want people to get into their heads, these guys have screwed with our time periods so much that we can't trust that these things took place when they said that they took place. It probably took place at a different time period. When? Who knows, right?
Yeah.
That much is starting to become evident that the time is out of whack. Okay, but the things actually going down and occurring, it's like we're the evidences are starting to come up, and the Bible is starting to be like, see, we said it was here. We said it was here. These aren't fictional places. These aren't like far out places like Alpha Zeticuli, whatever.
Delta 4.
Yeah. Billy Carson keeps saying, well, how do you know they knew about the orbit? Be like, well, kind of like you said, PJ. They're talking about cycles, right? They know, like the ancient peoples knew about, you know, exactly what the Bible says. It's not seasons, days, and years. When a time to do this, a time to do that, right? There's a season for everything.
Ecclesiastes 3.
Genesis talks about that.
Yeah.
But Billy Carson doesn't mention anything about the Bible because apparently it's fake. It's written by people. Well, the Wall Street Journal is also written by people too.
Exactly. Every book's written by a person. Yeah. Every book. Right. We'll play that Nephilim trailer that Michael's on about. I didn't know they were making one at all, but I think we're okay with trailers. You're allowed to play trailers. It's just a movie you're not allowed to play. I think we're okay with trailers. So let's have a look at that.
It should be all right with it. Like it's an official.
It's really cool.
Oh, is that supposed to be Moses?
Maybe. Sons of God. Ones of the nine. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to have a look at that when it comes out.
Yeah.
There's a Matthew, Mark, Luke backstage. I'm not sure who you are. Can you let me know who you are? Because there's been someone trolling.
I think it's the real Luke, because he told me the other day that his name was Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So I think
okay, cool. Is this Luke? Luke? I hope it is. Let me just.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Thank the Lord. I wasn't sure whether I thought it was you, but I wasn't sure because of who's been all the idiots. Well, the one idiot has been trying to get in earlier, which I let him in, but he didn't say a word. Good to see you, bro. Good to see you.
Good to see everybody
We
before
see-
everyone admits it's a globe, because Jaren and Richard are gonna flip.
I tell you what, man.
So exciting.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Luke in ages, apart from trying to get backstage at Flats's, and he doesn't get in anymore. And wow, it just if I didn't know, I would just think that was him.
Hey, do you know? I've worked out who he's in. I've worked out who Luca is. He's actually Dr. Nick Riviera from The Simpsons. Remember him? Hello, everybody. Even looks like him.
I never watched The Simpsons like that. Dr. Nick.
Wow.
He was really scammy doctor. Every time there was some sort of scammy medical thing, it was Dr. Nick Riviera.
Pretty cool.
And by the way, sorry I was cursing in the chat before. I think cursing is wrong, but if you're doing Eddie Murphy, you get to drop the F-bomb every now and then, I reckon.
God.
Or if you're doing Samuel L. Jackson, you
yeah.
have a move for here and there. Yeah, I get it. Hey, Jim Bob, good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Right, and Baza.
Where there was wars between demons and angels and stuff fighting in the heavens. So there's tons going
Sorry, but when this guy gets a mic, it's just word solid.
Yeah.
on. Obviously, could any of those have been, like, from what you've discovered or how people have written it? Do you think those could have been demons or angels?
I don't believe in
demons
or angels at all.
You don't believe in them at all?
Nah, I don't believe in demons.
Wow. Okay, what are they?
Now we've got a Luca backstage without
That'll be that troll again.
Yeah, probably. Hold on. Yeah, it is. I knew it. See, you haven't been let in. See, you can see it, Michael, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, idiots, innit? Absolute idiots. Oh,
Yeah,
they're flashing on off. Oh, that's a good trick. That's lovely. That's lovely. That's a lovely trick. It's a pity nobody can see it. Yeah.
Ban it.
And banned from studio. Banned requires all guests to log in. No, I can't ban it. Kick guest. I've got to kick him. Can't ban him because he needs to be logged in to be banned, and he's not logged in, obviously.
Let him in. See if he can account for himself.
Well, I've got him. Next time he comes in, I'll let him in. I let him in 4 times before. He didn't say nothing, so I'll let him in next time.
And angels. When you read Azazel coming down in the book of Enoch, coming down, and the first thing he does is teach people how to make knives and swords so they can cut a man's head off. You read, you see these quote unquote.
Where's that in the book of Enoch?
In the book of Enoch, Azazel. He comes down and he teaches.
Where is that in the book of Enoch? Is it? The only reason I ask is because there are two.
Go.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm just going to add this guest to see if this is the dude. Right. That's obviously the. Hold on. I didn't want them on full screen, did I?
Hello, everybody. Okay.
So, what you got to say, dude? Anything to say? Anything at all? Why has he come up with the main bloody picture, though? It's weird. That's weird.
Miracles.
That's
Hello,
weird.
everybody.
After I say hello, everybody, everyone's going to say hello, Dr. Nick.
Nothing to say. How come when I add him to stage, he gets full screen? It's weird. Weird. Nothing to say anyway. No. Oh, it's you. It's sharing it, isn't it, Luke?
Yeah.
I was thinking it was somebody trying to get in.
Why coming on?
It's actually Luke sharing.
Right.
I was thinking, why is it going full screen? Thought it was someone trying to get. What an asshole, Pete. What an ass. I like it, Luke. I like it. Oh, cool. Right. Back again.
First Enoch and Second Enoch, and only First Enoch is an actual historical amalgamation.
Okay. And then you analyze the fact that these angels are having sex, they're getting drunk. These are just people.
Whoa. When are angels getting drunk?
Angels part.
Doesn't.
No, where does it say that?
No.
It
Party,
says
they
mankind
go.
will get-
Let's take it back a little bit again. I want to see the exact words to say that. 2 seconds.
Well, Raina, do you think those could have been demons or angels?
I don't believe in
discredits.
demons or angels at all.
You don't believe in them at all?
Nah, I don't believe in demons and angels. When you read,
Oh, you don't believe in demons or angels? What?
Does he believe in devil?
Well,
yeah. If you don't believe in demons, angels, he definitely can't believe in the devil. At least I'm going to assume that.
Well, John.
You know what sucks?
Azazel coming down in the book.
Sorry.
When you're up the globe, like you lose it. You don't have access to these other possibilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're of the globe, like other things that begin to make sense to us, where we're like our minds get blown. You don't get to see that. You don't have access to it. And it's not like we're trying to bar these things from you. We're trying to show these things. We're trying to show these people the basics so that they can start to see everything else. But
right.
It won't, of course, it's not going to make sense to him. He believes everything is a globe. He believes Zeta Reticuli, whatever the hell that thing is, the Dogon and all that other nonsense that's not real.
You got to, yeah. That's what I mean. You've got to pray for discernment so we know. This is, to me, you don't even need discernment to see this is not real. This is bull. You don't, Holy Spirit will tell you anyway, but even with that Holy Spirit, I'd be able to tell this was bull. But I'm glad I do have Holy Spirit for discernment. Also, discernment all the time. Yeah.
Also in Book of Enoch, I don't think it's Azazel that teaches them metal, like working metals and making weapons and that. It's a different angel.
Is it Uriel?
No.
That's Azazel.
Okay, cool.
Oh, is it Semyaza?
That's
Semyaza.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Enoch coming down, and the first thing he does is teach people how to make knives and swords.
Michael, I'll let you take control. I'm just going to grab some juice.
They can cut a man's head off. You read, you see these quote unquote.
Where's that in the Book of Enoch?
In the Book of Enoch, Azazel. He comes down and he teaches.
Where is that in the Book of Enoch? Is it? The only reason I ask is because there are 2 Enochs, First Enoch and Second Enoch, and only First Enoch is an actual historical amalgamation.
Okay. And then you analyze the fact that these angels are having sex, they're getting drunk. These are just people.
Whoa.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say it in Enoch, and it doesn't say it in Bible. It's seriously lacking on his understanding. This guy.
Yeah, and you want to know something? I think it's not even I think, but doesn't it in the Book of Enoch? Because I haven't read it. I haven't heard inside of it because I used to listen to the audiobook all the time. Yeah. Isn't it where they talk about that the Nephilim when they came down? Was it in Enoch or was it?
Well, Nephilim don't come down from heaven. It's angels.
No, they're created.
Nephilim are offspring between angels and man.
And that's all right, because I don't want to sound crazy, but the ones that came down at Mount Hermon, and then they made their pact. Like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We've offended God. We're here. We're gonna have to move forward. So didn't they wind up not only having sex with women, but they also mated with the animals as well?
Yep. Yep.
So they created abominations as well.
Yeah.
It's not
and
like
the Nephilim after that did it with animals and all these things.
That's why it says all flesh were corrupt.
All flesh, yeah, exactly. Hence why the flood had to happen. But as when he says, "Oh, it was just men and women getting drunk and having sex," if that was the case, why would in Genesis and in Enoch it make the distinction between sons of God and daughters of men? Why wouldn't it just say, "Oh, the men and women of that place started humping"? You know, you know what I mean? Why would it make the distinction like it says it? Sons of God, which is the angels, and then daughters of men. It wouldn't make the distinction if it was just.
There's a view that when it says that B'nai Elohim or whatever it is, that it's talking about the sons of Seth. That's like an alternate view. But if you look at Hebrew, it's clearly talking about angels.
Aye.
Yeah. Now that's the part that I think is crazy, and you see many depictions of these lesser gods, I guess you could call them, the offspring of all these things. They have horns. Many of them have horns, right? And I think at first I used to think, oh, that must be a kind of helmet that they wear, but I guess that's weird to wear a helmet with horns in them. But now, if these horns are being protruded from their head, these things are starting to make sense. Things like nymphs, not nymphs, but I guess you could say fawns, like Pan and stuff like that, that were once considered Greek mythology, like where they have, feet like cloven hooves.
Feet. Like your centaurs and your satyrs and stuff like that.
And it's like stuff like that is starting to make sense. And it's like, man, this place was a lot stranger at one point. They even show it in the Urbano map that these things were down there. Right?
Definitely. I'm 100% sure that like it's not mythology.
No. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, some mythology is mythology, but some mythology is probably truth. You know what I mean? They got made into mythology.
Yeah, and
then you've got the other, the vice versa as well.
So my lunch break has been showing a consistency with many of these statues that were found headless. So it's like it would make sense that you don't want to show these statues that are being found of people with horns on their heads or people with faces that look totally different from the features that a normal, say a person had a dog face, normal person body with the head of a dog. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those abominations that they're talking about. Those abominable creatures, totally different from what God was trying to originally create. Right?
Like a centaur, like half man, half horse. I mean, that probably comes from the idea of the Watchers coming together, or the angels coming together with the women and the offspring being Nephilim. Probably comes from that idea. Yeah.
There was some. I had a video where I got it from somewhere and I posted it and it got took down by YouTube. But there were some statues found, like dug up somewhere, and there were all kinds of representations of different creatures having sex with other creatures and stuff. And they were like thousands of years old, these statues.
So it's madness, isn't it? It's pure madness. So and it says time to know it's coming. We're in the time to know it again.
Yeah, you had a race of people with dog heads called the Cynocephali. There's even, if you guys are familiar with the Orthodox Church, the Greek Orthodox or the Russian Orthodoxy, they had Saint Christopher, who had the head of a dog.
Wow!
Right, and they still use and they still revere him as a saint. Saint Christopher in the Eastern Orthodoxy, he's a giant with the head of a dog. In the
venerated dog.
Yes, in the Catholic faith, he's a regular human being. So obviously somebody's hiding some stuff. But yeah, this stuff it's not just people having sex, humans having sex. These things are there was a good possibility that these things were an abomination to this earth. And God was like, man, I'm flooding this place. I got to get rid of this.
Absolutely.
Not what I want.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what I think this Bigfoot is, some kind of remnant from Genesis 6. Definitely.
I think it's very possible. I mean, I'm not sure of Bigfoot, but I think it's very, very possible it could be a big Bigfoot. And if there is, it could be a remnant, like you said, a residual kind of DNA of a Nephilim. You know.
You know
Absolutely.
who sounds like a Bigfoot? I don't know if you ever read the Epic of Gilgamesh, but Gilgamesh is his partner in crime, Enkidu. Sounds like he's a Bigfoot.
Yeah. And I think is it Esau or something in Bible or Aryan?
Hairy, red hair.
Yeah.
If you're going to say Brenda.
That was probably Brenda.
I only found this out last year, Vlad. There's actually Bigfoot sightings in England.
In England,
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Crazy.
Oh, wow.
I mean, maybe there's. I mean, everybody think when they hear Bigfoot, I mean, some consider there's a family of Bigfoots or whatever, but a lot of people just think one of. I mean, what if they're all over the place? We just don't see them often.
I had like a theory that maybe they can travel from continent to continent through tunnel systems and
tunnel
stuff
systems, possibly.
Yeah. Yep.
Possible.
That's weird.
There's also in England dogmen, Bigfoots, also it's a beast and that.
Yeah. Spring Hill Jack.
That's mental, isn't it?
and I suppose, I mean, UK's got one of the most famous old school serial killers, is in Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
Oh, Jackie boy.
Well, there's loads of places in England and Ireland where devil supposedly appeared, and
Hi. Hey Jeffrey, how you doing, bro?
Good morning.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Are you guys aware of the fossil record for a animal that looks exactly like a Bigfoot?
No.
It lived at the same time as woolly mammoth and the saber-toothed cats, and it was called Gigantopithecus.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Exactly the same animal as a Bigfoot.
Never heard of that.
Gigantopithecus.
How many million years ago was that?
Oh, I have no idea, but I do know that in Germany there was an artifact called the Lion Man found in a cave, and it had to be reconstructed because it kind of fell apart, but it was literally made out of a woolly mammoth tusk. Literally. And that was like what they worshipped at the time. And I find it to be peculiar because it was like the body of a man, but the head of a lion. And it really reminds me of the Lion of Judah.
Oh, wow. The Lion Man. I've never heard of that.
No, I didn't. Okay.
Yeah, it's in it wasn't found too long ago, but it was dated back because it's made out of woolly mammoth tusk. So it was dated back 30,000 years. And it was, and then it just, once you start with one thing, they find different things that relate to that one thing.
Right.
And then they found a figurine with that same Lion Man, but he had a serpent coiled around his entire body. Okay. And that's probably where they introduced evil into their religion, where they knew there was a good God, and then there was this nuisance that had no power compared to the Lion Man, but he was definitely irritating the Lion Man by coiling him up his whole entire body.
What?
Yeah, it looked just like that medical symbol. How the serpent coils. Yeah, how the serpent coils up.
Yeah, I get you.
The caduceus. Maybe that one is a cadontius. Get it?
Well, that actually comes from Moses, doesn't it, with his staff and
yes,
it does.
His medical, that Hermes staff, and I think the one that Moses had. Well, not had, but I think didn't he make the Israelites like look at that staff? Because everybody got bitten by a snake. And right, look at that big snake. So you
Yeah, that story. He actually turned a brood of vipers on. He unleashed vipers on his own people for their idolatry in their travels. Or I think they were actually weren't. It wasn't the idolatry. I think they were just complaining about how miserable they were, and then he, reminded him that it could get even more miserable, and they all started getting bit by vipers. And then he told Moses, "They'll be cured if you make this this certain staff with a snake on it." And when they looked upon it, they were miraculously healed of that viper bite.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Let's play a bit more of this.
Are angels getting drunk?
Angels party. They go. They hang out with people. They go to war with people. They put on their outfits and go to war with people. This is in the
Where
Bible.
are they getting drunk though?
Well, they get married. Okay, whatever that means. But they're having
They
a
don't
good
get
time.
married.
Okay, not
In
married.
fact, Scripture says that angels can't get
like
married.
Merry Christmas.
Not married. Mary, Merry. But the point that I'm making here is when you start to really analyze what these.
It actually says that they just take whoever they want.
Yeah.
So Mary, you mean gay, as in Mary?
I think he might have meant like drunk. Or
Yeah,
like,
Mary, as in, yeah.
out there.
Well, the original meaning for gay was like happy, right?
Happy,
Yeah. So Mary, that was my joke.
Yeah, I get you. But yeah, he was talking about in between being drunk and sober, kind of just getting to the merry stages, like talking blah, that kind of stuff.
But what he's really talking about
These,
is fallen angels that were told not to mess around in humans' affairs.
Thank you.
And instead, they did exactly the opposite.
Yep. Don't mess
And
with the
they
signs.
created abominations by.
Yeah. Don't put your hands in the stew. Stop putting your hands in the stew, man. You're gonna mess it up.
Too many. That's it. Too many cooks spoil the broth, man.
Exactly.
You know why they
These
ended
angels
up
are doing
on there?
when you start to.
Because of it was pride, right? It was pride. And then you think they're going to listen if they're afflicted with pride? Are they going to listen?
No, never.
Analyze how many people are dying in the biblical text. You start to say, well, how many people did Satan actually kill? And when you start doing the tally on the numbers, God's doing most of the killing in the Bible. It's not the devil that's doing all the killing. And then God says in Isaiah, I created the good and I created the evil. Do what I say at the Lord. So he's saying that he's doing the good and the evil. Is what he's saying. Yeah. Now, my personal opinion on this whole thing, just let me get this.
Go on, Jeffrey. Somebody's got to say something. No? Okay.
Out because we keep going over the same rhetoric over and over again. My personal opinion is that the biblical text is a good book. There's like I've got videos. My number one video on Twitter has me saying this. It's good text because if you actually apply some of the information that's in the Bible, you can get a good result.
More than a good book. It's the truth. I mean, just call it a good book.
It's actually a collection of books.
Collection of books and letters and poems, songs, prayers. Yeah, absolutely.
Like you have done, Mark.
Right. I struggle with no, I want you to finish your thought. Go ahead.
Yeah. So because you can get a good result, but there's a lot of misinformation in the Bible. There's a lot of false information that's copied from ancient text.
No, don't agree with them whatsoever. If you find a contradiction in the Bible, I just think, like Michael says it all the time as well, you're not understanding it properly. I mean, yes, I know we've got Mandela effects and all that, but in general, it doesn't change the meaning of the Bible. But I mean, one day it might actually get in there what you can. But yeah,
I spent all day. I spent all day yesterday arguing with a troll.
Did you?
Over can't remember what verse it is. You know, when Jesus says, "Surely you'll not taste death till you see me coming with my angels." Can't remember what verse it is. Arguing about that all day yesterday.
No. And that's what they do. They never ever concede. Never concede nothing, man. Even when
it would just question and I'd answer it and another question and it would just question after question. And to the point where I said, "Look, mate, I've had enough. Stop commenting to me.
I've answered you 100 different billion ways. You know what I mean? And it's all the same question you're asking me about you.
And if you go by that text, all of a sudden you end up with 400 years of slavery. You end up with abuse. You end up with divide and conquer tactics that separate people. You end up with people thinking that they're the chosen ones and they're the chosen people. And we've been promised this promised land so we can eradicate another race of people because this is our land, because God promised it to us. You have people that want to go on.
There's a lot of projection of that, isn't there? Bloody hell.
Misrepresenting what.
Absolutely.
I see totally where he's coming from with that. However, at the same time, many of those people that did the slaving, many of them are the same ones that claim that they were the chosen people.
That's right.
Hey, it's not me saying it. It's all written down. People can retrace this, right?
There's a few types of slavery going off in Bible though, because there's like obviously Pharaoh enslaving people to do it, but there were also people who were in like a financial situation where it was beneficial to become a slave.
Yeah,
the worst slavery was female, just for being beautiful. They would take you and you'd have a life of sexual perversion.
You see, that stems from angels though, because angels taught women how to make themselves look beautiful,
No, don't confuse fallen angels with angels. Fallen angels
I'm
are
not confusing fallen angels with angels, mate.
Okay, well, fallen angels are demonic, perverted creatures, and angels of the Lord are opposite. They don't have any perversion. They are still in the love of Christ.
Angels are just angels. Some fell in the grace of God, some didn't. They're still angels, mate.
Yeah, still angels. They're either good or bad angels, but they're still angels. Yeah. I think that, like Michael as well, the demons come from the spirits of Nephilim. That's where I think demons come from.
It's wild because even the Muslims, they have the jinn, and they like describe them as being these beings with, you could see their eyes glowing because they have that fire, they have that spiritual fire within them that keep them alive.
What's that what's that old film, Wishmaster? Can you remember that?
Wishmaster, dude. Aye, brilliant. I loved it. It's by Wes Craven. Actually, the guy who did the first Wishmaster, before he turns into the Wishmaster, he's playing face. It reminds me on Matthew here. He looks like Matthew. He does, Luke. He does. I actually thought of that. I just can't remember the actor's name to say it. But yeah, I remember the film, dude. Yeah, carry on, man. I do remember it. Michael?
No, that's it. That's all I was saying.
Okay, sorry. I thought I didn't.
You remember Wishmaster? He was a djinn.
Yeah. I thought I didn't know.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
So the fallen angels, you don't believe they lost their status or their authority? And, you still think they have all the powers that they once had when they were in heaven, inside of God's love?
Probably not. I don't know. I just don't think that angels turn into demons. Angels are angels and demons are demons.
You have to look at it.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe you're correct there, but they are separated from God and they live in the same domain. So when demons were created from Nephilim spirit, you don't think their fathers or their creators that created the abomination would be banished along with them?
Well, when you're talking about what spoke about in Enoch, some are imprisoned, aren't they? I don't know where these places are, but you have to understand that a third of angels are supposed to have sided with Lucifer. That's a lot of angels. Now, where are they all? Well, if you read Ephesians 6, it tells you. They're still in the heavenlies somewhere. So there's an heavenly realm that's not where God and good angels are, but where bad angels are.
Yes, I think it was that the fourth, was that like the fourth circle or something like that on the way to heaven? And they described something like that in the book of Enoch where it was quiet. And then they had these angels sitting there like waiting for judgment.
I heard that the 4 angels of Armageddon are under the Euphrates River chained up, but regardless,
this
there's
one's different. This one's different, and they're basically going and they're pleading with Enoch, and they're like, "Hey, can you basically put in a?" I'm paraphrasing right now, but they're like, "Hey, could you put in a good word for us to God, like kind of plead for us?" And Enoch's like, "What you asking me to do that for? I can't talk on your behalf. Like he put you in here for a reason. There's no way in hell I'm gonna talk you guys out of it." So.
Yeah, and what's the culmination of the story? He actually did go ask, and he came back with bad news for them, that they, as angels, rejecting the love of their creator has banished them forever. But there's also a little glimmer of hope, because in the Melchizedek story, it said that he was dropped off in Eden, and he will be judging all of the evil spirits. So maybe they do have one last chance of redemption.
Oh, I'm not familiar with at all.
I don't go into them realms of what's getting judged and what's not. That's down to God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. True. Right.
It does say in the Bible that we'll judge angels, like so.
Yeah, it does say that.
Papal inquisitions and torture and kill and murder over 80 million people. You have the American Holocaust, 111 million indigenous natives slayed. You have all this going on because of this text, which is set up so contradictory throughout its path across time. You get into the New Testament, slavery is still being condoned in the New Testament.
Was it?
Honor thy slave master as you would.
Stop. I got a jet.
Oh, okay, bro. I thought you were
See you guys.
man.
Peace, brothers.
Thanks for being here, dude.
Me too. I gotta go.
All right, nice one, Luke. Thanks for being here as well, man.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Your
Good night.
stream's done Wheel from the other day pretty well. Bless you, man.
Yeah,
nice.
Bazza says Enoch says that the stars that broke commands are bound for 10,000 years at the end or edge of heaven and earth. Yeah, I think that's that darkness that we see above us, like Enoch goes to a place that's devoid of water and it's horrible, and he sees these big burning mountains. I think that's planets, maybe, so-called planets.
I
possibly, I don't know. We don't know what firmament is, but I think maybe inside firmament, maybe, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's so much we don't know. I mean, we do know something, but there's so much we don't know as well that maybe we're not even meant to know, Hey, Ryan, how you doing, bro? Ryan? Oh, good?
Yeah, as far as the firmament, that's one of those things I don't think humans will ever be able to understand. No. That's just one of those confusing terms that just our brains will not be able to fathom until we're glorified. Then we'll be like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
That's the problem. What like mainstream's done, like it lets man think that they have to know everything and they can know everything. You know what I mean? Like when we're arguing with ballers and they're like, well, if it's not that, what is it then? Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't know and I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Hey, Matthew Eastman, good to see you. I think I said hello earlier anyway. Heracles, good to see you. And Mike, good to see you as well. Good to see you. Aye, right enough.
Would honor God or Jesus, it says, I believe. So in Ephesians. So
the Old Testament. I always thought, but the God of the Old Testament too. Like I'll let you go real quick, but I'm just, and I know you have to go soon too. But I'm speaking as I challenge my own subject. It was always. I'm telling you guys, this is where Jesus came in and changed everything for me. But like the Old Testament too, it is hard for me to read. Even Noah thinking God's like mad at everyone. Let's flood the whole world and murder all these people that I created.
That's because of lack of understanding. You think that God's doing it to kill every man and all that. It's because of the corruption that was here, the corrupted bloodline.
World as we know it would not be here, would it? Like,
Exactly.
If we lived in those times, we would probably be begging for our own death with how much evil was corrupting physical humanity in the earth. He was doing the innocent, he was doing a favor, bringing them back to him.
Well, absolutely, I believe that. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then as far as him,
that is their
when
misunderstanding, because they don't understand that it was they think it was God's wrath just to get rid of man, because he thought he made a mistake with man and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't about the man himself, it was about the corrupted bloodline, about the corruption that was here and what was going on.
Yeah, because people don't understand that evil isn't necessarily something God created, and it's everything it plagues is caused by him. I believe evil was a byproduct of creation, because in this creation story, it doesn't say anything about when time was created, but we have to know time was created somewhere, but it doesn't explicitly say where time was created. They just say, oh, in the beginning. Yeah, no kidding. But it doesn't specifically say, oh, time was created right here or right there. It was a byproduct of him bringing his love into physical reality. So with it being a byproduct, it's kind of something that's like not really, he can control it because he's the controller of everything. But when free will is applied, then it's like there's no more controlling it. He just has to let it roll, and he can fix things if they get too bad. But, you know, he created physical reality to just like a snowball go downhill, and whatever happens, happens. Not that he can't change anything or that he can't see what's going to happen in the future. He just, evil's out there in the world, and that's why in the Bible it says that it'll finally be ended at the end.
Okay. Yeah, there's some good thoughts there. Absolutely.
I mean, we've had how many arguments have we had, PJ, with people who don't get free will?
Oh, I know. They really don't. They don't understand that we can be predestined and have free will at the same time. Choice within that predestination.
And another thing, like when they're talking about, oh well, God were evil because he killed everybody, you know, they don't understand that the Bible's actually about God's plan, you know, where Adam and Eve were caused to fall. Is putting that straight, and he needs a bloodline for Christ.
Yep.
And bloodline can't be corrupted, otherwise there's no Christ and no plan to put it back straight. Exactly. You know what I mean? And that's what people don't realize.
Exactly right. And if you look at it from that point of view, it makes complete sense, as well as from loads of points of views. But you know what I mean? It makes complete sense. Jesus wouldn't have been Jesus with a corrupted bloodline, would he? You know, wouldn't have been able to be. He'd be born into sin. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
That's pretty bad stuff.
But it seems so contradictory to, and I'm speaking, Wes, as a Christian, and I don't have the.
It's up to him if he calls himself that, but I would question that, to be honest. I mean, I don't know him, but going on what he believes, well, what he's backing up, I would debate that he's an actual Holy Spirit filled Christian.
Whatever they call papyrus, there isn't. This is where people, but I continue to follow in my heart, but it's so Jesus did not seem like that at all. But they say God's the same as then as he was now. Like time he created
fragments, like proper sentence fragments. It's like, it's like, can't follow what he's trying to say.
No, it is. I mean, I know it's a cliche of saying word salad, but this is a word salad. I mean, he puts a few words together that sound like, yeah, they go together, but then he ends off the sentence with something maybe you should have started it with or something. He doesn't make sense, really. He doesn't. Sorry, just I think he's just a time filler or something.
Who actually is the guy who's talking? Who is it?
I don't know. I mean, was he brought there to be moderator? But he's actually on the same camera as.
It's speaking more than Carson, though. So it's clearly not moderating.
No, well, yeah, true. But like somebody said earlier, Carson isn't usually this quiet. He started sweating when he realised he was up against the next guy.
Time. So he didn't come down, you know, as Jesus and change and evolve and then come back with new information and be like, you know what, I don't think I'm going to flood and do. So these are more, I guess, like bigger moral questions that there's not necessarily, but that's where things like the Old Testament.
That's when Billy knew he talked up.
Testament challenged me at times. And I know there's a lot of things where they correlate, and I've seen some cool things that come together too. Wow. But it's just like, man, to think like I'm going to flood and murder all these people that I created and then leave a few alive doesn't seem like what Jesus did at all.
Sorry to interrupt.
No.
I thought someone saying something.
There's a couple more points I want to make because he got a lot of talking in. He did say, slaves, obey your earth.
He did a lot of talking. Yes, he does. And he's the middleman.
The masters with respect and fear as sincerity of heart as you.
I think he was trying to do damage control there because Billy had gone quiet. You know what I mean? I think he was trying to damage control things, but he just doesn't know what he's doing. So he just strung all the words together.
It was totally mental, like. But the Old Testament challenges me, and you know, and there's correlated. It's like, what? I don't understand what you're saying at all, mate.
That's all.
Would obey Christ. That's slaves. Obey your earthly masters with respect and fear with sincerity in your heart, just as you would obey Christ. So it does say that Ephesians 6:5, but there's so many aspects.
That stuff is what.
And what is the context of what Ephesians is saying? So I think this is very important because we don't take text in isolation. So within Scripture, and this is why all the abolition movements throughout history have only been Judeo-Christian movements. There's never been an abolition movement that wasn't Christian. And actually, there's the recent work by historian Tom Holland, not the Spider-Man actor, different Tom Holland, but his recent Dominion highlights this fact very well. This is not a Christian, but in it, he shows that going right back into the antiquity with the Cappadocian Fathers was the first abolition movement, and then into the British and the American abolition movements. These were fundamentally Christian movements ran by Christians because of the idea that when Paul, who wrote that letter to Ephesians, says, in Christ there is no slave nor free, he's breaking down those barriers. So there
you go. See, dude, he just knows what he's talking about. He really has done his research. That's where Billy's just, like I keep saying, putting his own ideas into certain whatever. What, babe? Jeff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Everyone was one before the flood.
Actually, that's not correct. Because there's a Bible verse that literally states that no one knew until the flood actually hit that it were coming. I'll try and find it.
I don't believe there's even a point to be made there. It doesn't bother me one bit. God does what he does. It's not up to humanity to say it wasn't fair.
No, that's right. That's right. I mean, he is the one he is God. He is the one who that says that what is holy, what is righteous. He's the top dude. So it's up to him what is right. So whatever he says goes, whether you agree with it or not. Whether you agree with it or not. God sets the standard. He is the standard. So it's up to him.
Right. I read it. King James, and knew not until in fact, I'll read it in a more English type. New International Version. I don't like that one, but I'm going to read it. And they knew nothing about what would happen until the flood came and took them all away.
Noah told them. Yeah, but Noah probably told them as the
New King James Version, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will the coming of the Son of Man be.
And when you think about it, he had to take a bunch of innocent souls with all the evil, but he did it with water. And I heard, it's pretty peaceful once you get that water in your lungs. You just kind of float until your eyes, until your consciousness resides and you're done. Pretty, I heard it was very peaceful. People that have drowned, I've heard witness testimony that they've been revived, and when they went unconscious, they were just floating down there, and wasn't in any pain or anything like that. It's not like getting burned alive or getting trampled by animals or anything.
I get that. I have heard that. That when you're drowning, you accept you're not going to get that air. It's peaceful and that, but whether it truly is, I don't know. I mean, I haven't experienced it. I mean, to me, thinking of drowning, it scares the crap out of me. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's possible that you would accept it, and it may be a peaceful experience. No, that I want to find out.
Yeah, just out of all the ways to die, that's all I'm saying.
Of course,
mass extermination.
Of course, absolutely. I mean, I suppose it would be better than burning. All that kind of things. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, we saw what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah, and then supposedly when the next Armageddon starts, there'll be another rendition of the fire and brimstone from the sky, according to scripture. So
there you go. Hello, Nova. In his patience, he waited until one family was not corrupted genetically. Yeah. Good to see you. I think you're new here as well. It's good to see you, Nova. So Nova, you had to say it twice.
In Ephesians, when he says, slaves obey your masters, he's operating on the socioeconomic context of what he's going on. And he's saying, hey, we have slaves and we have free people, okay? If you're a believing slave, if you're a slave who believes in Jesus as the Messiah, don't be equitable in how you are living your life. Reflect Christ accurately. And that's a movement that he is fundamentally working towards, that eventually starts to completely take out the legs.
This is where we would argue, Wes. I would be. I love. By the way, I love that we're all. This is respectful. I don't feel this is all just three grown up.
See, I've gone since this stream started. I've gone up 9 subs. Bless, guys. That's really good. 421. I was on 412 this morning. I only jumped to 400 a couple of days ago as well, so that's really good. I know I've got subscription only to come in the chat, but obviously if you want to unsubscribe afterwards, you can. People can always unsubscribe. That's the thing. But yeah, bless you guys for subbing anyway.
Talking in a healthy way.
I appreciate it.
And I think this is going to give us but this is where you and I sitting down in the room, I would be like, great that you came to that, but like what were the methodologies did you use to conclude that him saying the slave be the master to the slave, you're able to interpret it meaning that he's meaning that? Because I was also raised in the church, and I would question when they're like, oh, in the old days when they said women don't wear jewelry, that's a sin. You would know the exact verse. And then they're like, oh, but that was just written because at that time, that was what they did. But then the next week they're telling me, but if you believe in the Bible, you either believe in all of it or none of it. I'm like, well, how come you're just, and they're like,
that's people telling you this. They're fallible. Listen, you're meant to be listening to the Holy Spirit. This is people telling you. That's the point. Listen to God.
But it's okay for women to do that. Now, those are the things where it's like, we've got to be honest here. Like if you're respectfully challenging Billy, Billy's going to go and do research and be like, okay, now I want to see how to have, because we're all critical thinkers. Those things seem to just get so blindly pushed over when they're like, but that doesn't apply now. And it's like, I think there's more common ground than people think, and some of your words have recall, but also like, it's weird to me to think that he would be like, women aren't allowed to wear jewelry and this crap. And then Jesus came and he's like, none of that matters. And then for them to be like, oh, that only.
Well said, Jeff. Following those, not following the Most High, is a recipe for deception. Without that, that's all it is. It is deception.
Made sense then, but now it doesn't apply. But believe everything in the Bible all applies. You know what? Like as a Christian myself, this is why like I'm always like,
Oh, sorry, I thought someone said stop. Wow. It's me hearing things. So I'm just putting up the I forgot I could do that. I put up the sub ones as well. Just to remind people.
Yeah. So there's a field, there's a discipline called hermeneutics, and that's that's the methodology of interpretation. So there are multiple levels that you interpret something. So whether we're dealing with, say, the book of Ephesians, or we're dealing with Tacitus's Annals, we
knows what he's talking about, and he goes into hermeneutics and that as well, which obviously Billy Carson doesn't do. He doesn't exegete. He doesn't. Hold on. He doesn't exegete. He eisegetes. He puts himself into the thing, into the mix, when it should be exegesis. You know.
Look at something and we contextually read it within the framework of how it's being written. So there's a historical approach where we look at the context. Okay, Paul is writing to a church in Ephesus. What's going on in Ephesus, and how is what he's saying in that city in what is modern day Turkey? How does that pertain to that particular time and framework? Where is Paul coming from?
How does it pertain to now, though, is my question. Because
so
you're giving me...
Here's how I answer that question.
And I love you to death, Wes, but you're starting to give... Sorry I had to interrupt you. I believe in God. Like, I believe in... And Billy believes in God, too. I get...
He certainly doesn't. And he doesn't believe in Jesus, my God. Not at all.
I get why things...
This guy is trying to damage control straight off. Yeah, for him. He's about to challenge Wes as for saying, "Oh, you're starting to sound bigoted" or something like that. I don't know. But he's kind of damage controlling live at this point. You know, when he was live, obviously.
Yeah, the moderator was terrible on this, but what are you gonna do? God works in mysterious ways.
Come on, he's getting shouted at. Jeffrey. Yeah, I get you, Jeff. I get you.
Things are challenged and things need to be challenged, but it's saying that was to women then, but being raised in the church and stuff, they say, but then they'll pick something and they're like, but that doesn't apply to them now, because in that context, he was talking to that.
Again, that's people telling you that it doesn't apply to them now. But there's also rightful division. You know what I mean? Rightful division of who God was talking to at the time, who it applies to at the time. So people could be talking about that. But if you're seeing something flawed, you've got to remember it's people telling you, not the Holy Spirit.
In this certain town where they were having problems with I'm like, well, that's not written anywhere. And they're like, well, if you go to blah blah blah, and then they say, well, God is all knowing, so he perfectly chose what was in and out of the Bible.
He's not explaining himself very well. He just did that and went there and go blah blah blah. I mean, blah 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 doesn't explain anything, dude.
I believe whoever created the universe, which is God, in my own opinion, is way smarter than any of us. Why would he leave something like that crap in there, that women shouldn't wear jewelry and all that, and then have in the New Testament that crap doesn't really matter? Like that's where like I have to believe that it's not I do think there is parts where things got written in, and I don't think they're the major things personally, like whether or not Jesus was crucified, which I think is a major thing, because if he wasn't, that I've studied that.
If it wasn't, then we're still under law. We're still under law. There's no new covenant, which is silly. I don't know how Billy Carson correlates that to anything that he believes in the Bible.
That would challenge
these other bloody musings.
That would challenge the core of my whole belief system over whether or not it said if women can wear jewelry or something. But I do think that, and I don't know if there's an exact answer to this, but I do think, that's perplexing to me. The God of all wisdom would choose to leave some of that in there. It's like, why?
So here's the thing. So the Bible was written for us, but it wasn't written to us. There is an
There you go. Rightful division.
original audience, whether that's the ancient Israelite in the ancient Near Eastern culture, or whether it's the Greco-Roman believer in Jesus within the city of Ephesus. So as historians, and I mean, most of the books on this end of my shelf are what are referred to as commentaries.
Sorry, I got to cut you off again.
Theologians and
Wouldn't
historians.
God be smart enough to know?
What? You got to cut him off there for what? You got to cut him off there for what? Just to say, wouldn't God be smart enough to know? He was explaining something to you. Why cut him off? That was a stupid cut off.
I'm not just going to write to this demographic of this civilization now, knowing I'm a God who created the whole world, and people are still going to be studying this thousands of years later.
That's what I was going to say.
Interrupted him to say that. Wow, that was so important.
But I didn't want to cut him off.
Yes.
So I'm sorry. By the way, I'm.
And Billy agrees with him, saying, "Yeah, I wanted to say that, but I just don't want to come off." Meaning, he didn't want to come off as though he was being argumentative or something. It gets way worse. Shit, dude. And this is the last, 19 minutes of it.
The worst interrupter ever, and it's more of my ADD type thing of like, I get a thought and I got to get it out or else I freaking forget it. So
no excuse.
I'm sorry about interrupting. Thanks for throwing me under the bus for that.
Yeah. So, how I would answer that is I would say this. So you do have examples of where Paul is writing, and he's writing to a particular group. And so we look at, okay, what does it mean for a woman to wear and adorn themselves with gold in a first century Greco-Roman context, right? It has to do with the fact that prostitutes would wear those things. So we need to ask the question, what is the intention of the text?
But,
so
sorry,
yes,
I got to ask you again, though.
Meaning.
But
he's done it again. Why? Let him explain what he's got. Oh, wow, it's not live. Why am I saying this? But that's the point.
Man's obviously affected by a demon that just causes him to blurt out.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, brother. No, it would not surprise me at all.
Hey, I resent that remark.
It's well. Yeah, but you know it, dude. You know it. This
What
guy's
remark? What remark was that?
Oh, the remark that Jeffrey just said.
Somebody
Rhymes.
demon- they
Because
interrupt. Come on. That's a little bit much.
I get it now. Yeah. Any drop.
No, I don't think it's just because of that, right? This guy is obviously demonically influenced anyway.
When I was a kid, my stepmom used to tell me that I had a demon in me because I was such an argumentative, rebellious kid. So, I mean, it's like, this just brings back memories, bro.
We don't think you got a demon in you. Yeah.
Yeah, that comment was only addressed to that moderator who was definitely, he just got done saying he got thrown under the bus by Billy, but he's actually throwing Billy under the bus by moderating this debate that ruined his career.
It's really bad. Yeah, really bad, man.
How do you interpret that's what I've been, the reason I'm interrupting you is I've heard this. I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
I respect the crap out of you for how deep you go into studying the ancient texts and stuff, which is so important for the real root of it all. But they've told me that same thing, and I'm like, but why doesn't it just say that he was speaking to the women and stuff that were prostitutes of that time?
Because that's who the bloody letter would have been sent to. The churches who are talking about the women that have the women there.
I would say that
the people he was speaking to knew exactly who he was talking about. And if scripture was written to explain every situation in every culture across all 7 churches, the books would be 5 times as big as they already are.
Yeah. I appreciate the crap out of it. It's a very pure expression, choice of words. Yes, it is, boy. It is.
Time. Like, where does that correlate?
He's not speaking to prostitutes. He's talking about purity. And he's talking in the context of.
Understand that he didn't really think he should have been saying, "Oh, God was saying, oh yeah, I'm talking to these prostitutes here." I mean, like, come on, is that your understanding from it? God, dude.
When he says, don't adorn yourself with jewelry, the original audience, and we can explore this by.
But you just realize how dumb that sounds? Saying the original audience, then later on saying, but now it's okay for this audience. Because these women and stuff don't. Because I'm just saying, like, I get why people, like, if we're gonna, we gotta be open minded. We're punching holes in other.
Say again.
It needs to let him speak, man.
I know. He's just jumping down his throat. I was going to say, Jeffrey, your camera's on, just in case you didn't know. I know, just jumping down his throat. It seems like he wants to be argumentative. I think because Billy's not said much, he's showing himself to be an amateur at this, really. I think this guy's trying to damage control him and stick up for him. And then it's getting argumentative, This guy wears his cool for the way he's being, man. And I don't blame him for putting it out, no matter how much pressure he got from Billy and his bloody solicitors or whatever. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. Imagine suing the dude for putting this out. It's bad. It's really bad.
Stuff to punch holes in our own, and even if it's agreeing, like don't you think that's a little? I
punch holes in your own. You're not our own if that's what you believe. You might call yourself a Christian, but look, many will come in my name. I mean, many will come in his name, and they do. A lot of people come in his name, but they don't. They're not Christians. They just go under the umbrella term and think they are because they believe in Jesus. That's not enough just to believe in Jesus, or there is a Jesus.
I get what you're saying. Like if prostitutes at that right now, if prostitutes all wear a red band around their neck and that signals what all prostitutes are, and it's like, don't wear that.
Prostitutes have tattoos, and a lot of.
I get you exactly. Who said that, Mr. Proctor? Protractor. Sorry. Here you have one of the leading experts in this field. In Mark, won't let him speak. Exactly, bro. Try to damage control for what's already happened is making it worse.
Women who aren't prostitutes have tattoos.
Right. I don't think it's as black and white that only the prostitute, and also you're only talking about in one little town. So my bigger question would be to God.
Well, in Greco-Roman antiquity,
like, why did you put that in the Bible? That just confuses everyone, though, because all these other civilizations are going to be reading that.
We have something we keep saying here. God didn't put that in the Bible.
Actually, listening too much to man, then, get the Holy Spirit and listen to the Holy Spirit. You're listening to man who's interpreting what it says. Read it for yourself, maybe.
Man put this stuff in the Bible.
And I think that was some of the old. I'm telling you, Billy. It's for me. I think he'll get back. If it wasn't for Jesus. Sorry, we got you back on, Wes.
Yeah.
Back on
I understand what you're saying, Mark. But what I'm saying is,
that was a good call. I would have cleared my throat while I was off, like, but it was good. It was good. Madness, isn't it?
I think we're missing a big point here. The point that I'm trying to make here is that the Bible is written by people.
I don't know if it's ruined his career, but people in Billy Carson's own chat and that have been going against him because of how he reacted to it. Yeah.
Let's just clarify this point. This is profound. The Bible is written by people. That's profound.
You're kidding. You're kidding. I thought the finger of God actually came down and burnt it into like scripture, into these scrolls. I thought it was the finger of God, man. Wow. Written by people, eh? That is profound. Men who are extremely flawed. And the evidence of that is what they did, what they took the information that's in that biblical text and what they did with it globally to other human beings, and how they even wrote about it in the Bible, how they enslaved and tortured people in the biblical text.
So in that case, even in the book of Deuteronomy, which is one of the most brutal books out there, where everything is given okay to rape women, kill children. If one person talks against your Lord, go to that town and kill the whole town, burn the town down.
So brutal.
It's just
in the
too
Old
much. Like I
Testament.
said,
Or turns people into salt and stuff.
the killing in the Bible is not being done by Satan.
Sounds
That's
like
why I
Jerry.
don't care.
I mean, nobody's saying it's okay to go grape and stuff like that. That's taking it too far. That's straw manning that scripture. Sorry, what did you say, Michael?
I was saying it sounds like Jaren.
Aye. Wayne Wes gained 100k subs, many of which came from Billy's on sub list. Nice. That's good. I've subbed to him now. He's actually got the debate on his channel there, and I've used this one that I got beforehand, and I could have had the full screen, you know what I mean, rather than this. But it's cool, it's still the same job. But his is half an hour longer, but I dare say his has got the bits that we were talking at the start and at the end and that, or whatever.
Did Michael see the gay pride event on Sub's Facebook?
I don't know. It was funny though. It was funny. Did you see that? So put something on Facebook.
No.
Right, good thing. It was Will Duffy, McToon in triangles. Oh, hooking up in that.
Aye.
That was pretty fun. Anyway, let's get it.
I don't believe in demons and all this other kind of stuff. Moses goes to the top. He talks to God. He gets his tablet. The first commandments are, thou shalt not kill. He comes down. As soon as he
It's tablets. Well, tables.
Tables.
Yeah, exactly, Dylan. Total straw man, isn't it? Total straw man.
sees the people making a golden calf, he kills most of them. It's just like, come on. It's just ridiculous.
And I've learned with some of these stories how it correlated with kill your first son related to then what happened with Jesus. But I'm still like, in my head, they're like, that's so beautiful. He was willing to sacrifice his son as God would. And I'm like,
I don't believe
that's beautiful. So mean that God,
I don't believe it's beautiful.
Like, Jesus.
Talking about Abraham going to sacrifice Isaac. Now, God, Abraham was like faith, like he had faith in God. And God had already told Abraham that through him, the nations will multiply. You know what I mean? And then that means coming from his son. So he had faith that for some reason he wouldn't have to kill Isaac, or if he did, God would bring him back to life, and God would. So he had faith in that. That's why he was tested. It was just a test, you know. And he got it. He knew beforehand. You know, he had faith beforehand that his son would be fine either way.
Changed my whole story. No, when I'm in heaven,
because of God's promise beforehand, and how faithful God is.
And I don't believe God is irrational, because he would be smarter than every one of us to be able to literally create everything. I would be like, God, I don't like. Why would you tell that dude to kill his son?
I don't see any benefit in killing your own kid.
And then right at the last second, he's like, no, it's cool. I was just testing your faith in me. It's like, that seems psychologically to me.
Not when you read the scriptures, dude. You just don't understand. You don't understand if you just read them. Except the Holy Spirit, maybe it might be a bit better way. But if you haven't got that, then read them rather than just listening to people.
Me, when God's like, kill your own son, but then at the last minute.
No, not at the last minute. Look, through the promise, Abraham knew through faith that it'd be cool. Everything would be cool. He knew.
Don't do it. Oh man, you proved your faith to me. I would be like, God, isn't there like I don't feel like you need to do that to a person. I don't think that's such a beautiful story. And I'm talking as a Christian. There's a lot of things with the Old Testament I struggle with, but it doesn't change my overall.
He knew as in had faith. That's just my way of talking, Ryan.
It's amazing.
Overarching beliefs.
How you can just sit back and question God like that.
I know.
Mind blowing.
It is. completely. That's what I'm saying. God is God. Whatever he decides to do is holy, righteous. Whether you agree with it or not.
And I think there is things that are written in, maybe misinterpreted, that aren't as important as the bigger things, like the crucifixion and stuff of Jesus. Like, I'm hoping to God that your methodology of proving that is right compared to Billy's in that specific scenario. But in some of these other things, like, I almost rather them be disproved that God killed his, that God, and I've heard a lot of these.
Finish a sentence, pal. Come on.
I know, it's patchy, isn't it? Every time he starts talking, I see myself looking at chat and start reading
It's
chat.
like he's thinking the next thing to say before he's finished saying.
I mean, I've had some experience with that. Like, my thoughts are racing. I forget to say the end of a sentence and go on to something else. But this guy's extent, no. I mean, he's word solving it all the way.
I found out what demon he's afflicted by. It's the hippie American Jesus demon.
Nice. Boy, it's painful to my brain. He is.
Different answers and stuff. And I know God gave us free will, and I understand all that too, but it's just like the God of the Old Testament and Jesus.
He doesn't understand it at all, does he? He just says he understands it because someone told him something. He's like, oh, okay.
It's hard to believe that they're the same person.
Yeah, I cut out quite a bit there, and so I think I missed a large portion.
I'm not. Yeah, you keep popping off, Wes, and I
might get to say a lot of stuff that I want to say. Go ahead.
I'll shut up.
So let me just say this. So the most quoted verse of the Bible in the Bible is a version of Exodus 34:6, which fundamentally describes who God is, that he's compassionate and loving, full of grace and mercy, and abounding in steadfast love. And so, in fact, if you read the book of Jonah, the beef that Jonah has with God, the reason why he doesn't want to go to Nineveh is because he believes that God is so loving that if he tells the Ninevites to repent.
Vicky's put the link in for Flats' stream tonight, which is Sleeping Warrior. Anthony's presenting, I think. Yeah, that'll be good. Nice, definitely.
And they repent, God is going to forgive them. So fundamentally, we have the picture of God consistently throughout the Bible, both in the Old and New Testaments, as being a God who is rich in love and mercy and abounding in steadfast kindness. And so we want a God who is just. And just to speak very briefly to the slavery issue, I mean, Leviticus 25 condemns by death the man stealing. So stealing someone and selling them into slavery. And the fact that the 10 Commandments are prefaced with, you are a nation who was slaves. I'm the God of Israel who brought you out of Egypt.
Exactly.
So there's a fundamental difference, and there's lots of literature on this. I would encourage people to read.
Hey, Ricky, good to see you, bro. Good to see you, man. Yeah, exactly what he says. Was slaves, brought you out of slavery.
My friend Paul
And it condemns it, like you said.
Copan's book is God, a Moral Monster. He's written some excellent stuff. He's also written on Did God Command Genocide in the Old Testament? He's a leading expert in the field of a comparative analysis of ancient Near Eastern war literature. And so there are very coherent explanations for these things, and that slavery within ancient Israel was very, very different from what slavery around the ancient Near East was like. And on top of that, once again, when abolition movements happen, what's that? Sorry, Billy?
I said slavery continued on throughout the Bible with no problems.
But it was always undergirded by the fact that this was not the ideal. That this
was exactly just because it was in there didn't mean to say it was God was cool with it. Things happened that God didn't agree with, obviously.
Yeah, just like the one wife. It's clear as day that Adam and Eve were bonded together in marriage and became one human entity. And then you got Solomon and David with harems and multiple wives, but that's against The laws.
Exactly right, bro. Just because men did it, it doesn't make it say that God was okay with it. You know, that's what they always. It's bad. It's bad.
Was something that should not be done. And even slavery within ancient Israel was fundamentally different than slavery around the ancient Near East. This is not a contested fact. You can look at the scholarship of individuals like Wright, who's written extensively on this. He's an ancient Near Eastern ethicist, and there's vast difference between the law codes in Leviticus, Deuteronomy, and Numbers, and something like the Code of Hammurabi, which puts people on a tier system and gives different punishments depending on where they are within society. That's not true in ancient Israel. If you were a king and you stole somebody and you sold them into slavery, they would punish you by death.
But if you steal somebody else's slave, you can't steal somebody else's slave. That's not a good thing to do, right? The point that I'm making here, I got to say something before I get out of here, is the Bible is full of contradictions. The biggest problem that we have is we're dealing with a civilization.
Coming from you, Billy, saying the Bible's full of contradictions. Coming from him saying the Bible's full of contradictions, where he just takes a fad or something like that and builds on it and puts his own ideas in it, takes something that's part truth maybe, or sounds true to some extent, as boy, hey boy, and builds on it and talks crap. Oh, removed him again. Boy, good to see you, bro.
Hey, hi.
I know what you said. Come to jail.
No, dude. There's this saying: never trust a man with a bow tie, right? Or never trust a man with suspenders and a belt, right? I go by these rules, right? But never trust a man in a light blue blazer. I want to add that to those wisdoms.
Yeah.
You can also don't trust a man with a black dildo in his face.
Right? That's a very bad sign. It's a very bad sign. It's very telling.
Right, exactly. I mean, wearing a t-shirt with a suit jacket, it just anyway, carry on.
Civilization on this planet that is psychologically impaired. Human beings are psychologically impaired. This entire planet. We're living on an insane asylum. Earth is an absolute insane asylum. Mental illness has spread throughout the planet Earth like a complete virus.
Same what he says while he's gone, you know what I mean? You know?
I can agree with that.
To a certain degree, yeah.
That's not too far off.
No.
And when you take a text like the biblical text, knowing that human beings globally are mentally ill, this entire planet is a mental insane asylum, and I'm talking everyone, every single, all 8 billion, whatever number of people we have now, are all mentally ill. And what I mean,
that also, I mean,
do you know why? Because you believe it's a globe,
right? And that also includes himself, right? That also includes himself.
Of course, he's got to be, unless he's the only one that's enlightened, you know. Maybe.
Yeah, but he doesn't say that. So
no,
but how? It's the same as this statement that everybody knows. Oh, researchers found out that we only use 10% of our brains.
Oh, I know.
Right, and I'm like, yeah, well, maybe that goes for the people that did the research and the people that was researched, but I mean, what does that say about the people that researched it?
You know,
how would you come to that conclusion in the first place? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, because you want to get, because they want to get to that.
You need it to be true, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's to push all kinds of nonsense, like you can open parts of your brain that you don't use. You know what I mean? It's to push bullshit.
Yeah.
Boy, since I've turned off that audio, that recording thing for each individual person, I haven't had a problem at all with my signal and fluctuating signal. Not at all.
It was such a weird thing, and I mean, like I told you, it's the only channel that I was giving this warning or this message, this notification.
What must have happened is when they brought that feature out, they must have automatically had it on as a default. I never actually put it on. you know, because just one day all of a sudden the recording tab was at the side of the screen, sort of thing. But yeah, no, and it's weird because when I used to get that fluctuating signal, I used to when it was down, I used to refresh the page and it would come back. Now, if the signal's down, refreshing shouldn't bring it back, you know. So it was obvious then it was something else, you know. So like since I've done that option off, yeah, I haven't had a problem.
I'm glad you found it and glad you solved it when there was a problem that you didn't. Well, you experienced it, but you didn't know it was there, right? And
it was through that trying to sort out the sound, which wasn't my problem in the first place. So some good came out of it.
Nice.
Vicky Screw being normal. Yeah, true.
Boring.
Mean is there's different levels of mentally ill. We all have trauma that we're not dealing with. We all have internal issues. We all have situations that shadow work that needs to be done. And so, some people are at higher levels of mental illness than others. Most of us are functional.
That's just pure cynicism, pessimism. Like, yes, a lot of people are, absolutely. But just because you've gone through some trauma, I mean, whatever trauma, doesn't affect people to a psychotic degree or into like psychological problems. Yes, it does with some people, but some just deal with it and it's fine. It doesn't mean to say everybody's mentally ill.
I'd rather be the way I am than normal and boring.
Yeah.
With all your traumas, right?
That's the one.
No, but I mean, come on. I mean, if you look at a tree that's never had any adversity, right? Maybe that tree is not as beautiful as the tree that actually met some adversity.
It's been through stuff, yeah, absolutely.
And still grew, right? And that tree is going to have way more character. So,
right,
but absolutely. If you start dwelling and feeling sorry for yourself, then you've got no one to blame but yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Just get on with it. You've got to. Don't be start crying about being ill.
Green. Adversity is horse shit.
Mental illness people. But when you take a look at the biblical text and you start going through this information and it's the way that it's laid out, it becomes a proponent of more divide and conquer tactics. It becomes a proponent of racism. It becomes a proponent of slavery. It becomes a proponent of all these things that are dark and ill, including murder and killing in the name of God, which has been done how many millions of times? So
that's man. Man does that in the name of God. God doesn't say, go and kill everybody in the name of my name. Man does that in the name of God.
My thing about the biblical text is it actually authored by the creator of the universe, or is it authored by the dark forces of maybe, if this Satan is real, Satan himself?
Say that again, babe.
We'll have free will. If you choose to use yours for bad, then that's on you, not God.
Yep, absolutely. Well said.
And the reason why I say that is because all-knowing, all-loving God, omnipotent and omniscient, that is creating not only this universe, probably most likely multiple universes, because a creator never stops creating, especially with infinite power.
Yeah, he does.
He's
on the seventh day. He rested.
Yes, he rested. What do you mean he's not stopped creating? What is he creating now? Nothing new under the sun.
Do you think he was satisfied after he created this? He thought, well, let's do another one of this. I mean, no. He was like, oh, these people are so unhappy. I got to keep a close watch on this. And even things got so messed up on Earth, you know. He didn't create a second and a third. Wow. He's like, no, we got to keep a close watch. We got to keep a close watch on this one.
There's big problems in it because he gave his only begotten son to save this creation. So he ain't got any more.
No.
That's just wishful.
That's just it. It's people just putting their own ideas on things rather than accepting that what God actually bloody says. It's because they see truth in God, but they don't want to let go of the sci-fi. You know,
right? They want to have a backdoor to the multiverse.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Who wants to
is
go to
now
a universe with a piece of paper?
Exactly.
at some point going to author a text that is going to allow human beings to misinterpret it and take it in his name and begin to slave people, torture people, and enslave people worldwide, to claim that you're chosen ones, to set up a state of chosen people, and then to even claim that you have chosen land, and to torture and kill even more people, women and children, in modern times, still going on to this very day.
Yes, people doing it in God's name.
He's killing me with the blessed comment. You know, he's referring to the Jews and the Jewish people, when we know as Christians and, you know, Old Testament people that it's that covenant of the Jews has been ended. That was the Abrahamic covenant. Now we have Christ's covenant, and the way that God put an exclamation point on the fact that there's no longer a blessed race of Jews is when those Jews left their worship on Saturday for the worship on Sunday of Christ. Those were Jews. They just chose to follow the Son of God who was revealed to them. And the ones that were left behind kept doing their sacrifices to the temple. And within 20 years, I believe 30 years, the Romans came in and completely took their temple down to the ground because they're no longer the blessed people.
Yeah. Okay, absolutely.
These pesky Romans.
Pesky Romans.
To me, that doesn't seem like a very intelligent being, especially a being that knows the beginning and the
Wow. He's placing himself above God when it comes to superior intelligence. You know, well, who else did that? Who tried to place himself, wants to place himself above God? You know.
Well, we've seen it multiple occasions where people blaspheme God like this, and then they end up in ruins. There was a Muslim sheikh that I saw. He spent the last 10 years of his life. He was talking this exact same way, and he spent the last 10 years of his life bedridden, and his face was completely in pain, and he was paralyzed because of saying ridiculous nonsense like this. He admits there's a creator God that's all potent and all powerful, but then he goes and talks crap about that creator God. Not a good idea.
God can't be mocked, that's for sure. I think
many of us have seen this moment of this comedy, stand-up comedy actress. I don't know how you call her.
Yeah, I saw her. She was talking about the virus, and she's talking about how many times she was vaccinated, and then
how she was blessed, bam! How she was blessed by Jesus, something like that, and then within 3 seconds, she just fell down on the floor.
Yeah, she cracked her skull. She cracked her skull on the ground. And what about the gay guy that talked about how it's okay to be gay, and then a rumbling roar of God, of a thundering roll came through, and he literally said, "That wasn't a sign from God."
Yeah.
Nice.
It happens, it keeps happening. Yeah.
That's it.
end. So if you know the beginning and the end, you have a certain level of foreknowledge. You have advanced knowledge that goes beyond. You know what's the ending before the end even occurs. So you set up everything for success. Why? Because a genius solves problems before they happen. And I'm going to drop the mic on that.
With some of that too, I think came back on.
I drop on that. Wow. That was brilliant, Billy boy. That was brilliant. Oh, you were so full of wisdom in this, man. You got whooped.
Yeah. I gotta get to this meeting.
Yeah, there's old stuff that it's hard to comprehend, but
the guy
the thing
the blue blazer, he doesn't even let the mic drop happen. And when Billy Carson is the star, but
yeah,
it's like the the blue blazer guy doesn't even
He's
acknowledge.
live. He's live damage control. That's what he is. Damage control is making it worse for himself and for
That's
Billy
because
Boy.
Billy slipped out like a serpent. That's what he did right there.
He did, bro. And people are, like say, people are in his own comments. I mean, I haven't been there. I've seen videos on it. Going against him, and like somebody else said in the chat earlier, subbing to Wes instead. Fair play. Fair play.
Now back to what he was saying about the different laws of the Old Testament. You know, even the pagan Nebuchadnezzar, he got tricked by his council to write a decree about worshiping any other god than the pagan gods, and that's what ended up getting Daniel thrown in the lion's den. Because he couldn't rewrite the law really quick, you know, similar to what Biden did with his son. But he couldn't just, oh no, that was a mistake, I'm gonna let my top counselor go. No, the other counselors tricked the king into putting him in the lion's den, and the king had to submit to his own law he wrote down on paper and allow him to be in the cage, and those lions didn't touch him. And then when he was released 7 days, or I don't know if it was 3 or 7 days, but he was released, and those he took it as a sign for God. But I did my obligation of putting him in the lion's den for that many days, but he survived. Now who's going in the lion's den? The fraudulent counsel that got him to almost kill his best counselor.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. But yeah, he dropped the mic there. That's crazy. Dropped the mic. Yeah. So I think it's good that people seen Billy in a different light, you know, and people woke up to him a bit. But you'll still have his defenders. Without a doubt.
Billy Carson is in the background of these two. What is it? Dwarfs. They're not even dorks. Well, the one on the total right side might be a nerd. But you know, he's got such a cop face, you know, and he wanted to be a cop. Originally he wanted to be a cop. I think he's gonna be a cop in the end, or prosecutor.
Just to let you know his backstory, he was once a paraplegic, and now if you look at his physique, it's like he's on steroids. But I don't think he is. I think he treats his body like a complete temple because he was denied being able to walk at a certain point in his life. So now he treats his body like every other human should treat their body, but we don't because we take it for granted.
Yes, we do. You know, yes, we do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
As far as a commentator,
change my life.
He's just retarded.
Yes.
That guy has no intelligence. The guy to the right is supremely intelligent. Grew up in the Middle East. Oh man, he's supremely intelligent.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. But that guy on the right, he has a total cop face.
Oh, dude. He's just like I say, he's live damage control.
Like you said, he's well read and he's very intelligent. You know,
Well,
was Jesus, and the core of it was love conquers all things.
Well read.
Yeah. I don't like him. He's been everything he says has been bloody word salad or filler.
That's the guy in the middle. That's the blue blazer. But but the guy in the black shirt, I mean, he's quite well read.
He knows his stuff, man. He knows his stuff, and he kept it cool. You know, he's got to be laughing in his mind of what they're going on about.
I hope so. I think so. Maybe he's too young to realize what's going wrong.
I mean, probably you remember he dropped out, didn't he, for a minute before, and when he came back on, he coughed. He was probably clearing his throat because he was on the ground bloody laughing. That's why. Just getting back. Back to being stoic.
Have you guys noticed how that moderator pronounces Jesus? It's very peculiar way of. They pronounce it like Jesus or something. It's a very weird way of pronouncing it. I've heard it like one other time, and it's just weird.
Maybe if you listen to it backwards, it will make sense.
Maybe.
Yeah. Can't go on.
All right, brother.
We can do a follow
I
up.
really appreciate it, Billy. Thanks so much for
We lost Billy there.
All right. Yeah, that was hard to watch. You know, I want to make a couple of statements before we wrap this up. I hope you enjoyed this. You know, I aired this fully expecting Billy to show up with the cease and desist letter. I won't. This is public. It was a consensual debate.
Let him see what he's gonna say.
I
It's
know
his
the
video.
law. It's
This
ridiculous.
is Shane
It's
winning,
just
so we
a scare
re-uploaded it.
tactic. No one's afraid. Here's the main point. Whether you like Christianity or not, the thing that Billy talked about on shows around the nation, we're talking about Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan, Patrick Bet-David, like major shows, some of the most influential shows of our day, bigger than big media, talked about Jesus having a wife, talked about Jesus, you know, not actually being crucified. He was disproven, and his arguments were dismantled. It was within the first 10 minutes of the debate, we find that he's either using fake documents, forged documents. He says, I was misquoted. Guys, this is the definition of someone who is just out there to try to get popular and make money.
Yeah.
Again, selling an $85 bottle of supplements based on what credibility? Because he has a bunch of followers and he's on major podcasts and he says things that are interesting. Like, I just ask you guys to use wisdom.
Scott, but this is the actual one I'm using. I've downloaded it, but this is the link to it. If you guys haven't got it, this is the debate from Shane Winnings here that put it, that re-uploaded it. But I'm going to go and get Wes's link now and put Wes's link in chat for you. And he's also obviously got it on his channel.
Hey, so, but you know, how much did Billy Carson get paid? You know, to interact with these, with these amateurs. I mean, they must have paid a lot of money, you know, before he got sick of it. You know, it was not because he liked. I mean, they didn't connect at all.
No,
and he was sitting next to him.
Yep, absolutely.
It's so strange, dude.
Very strange, very strange. Oh, where's that link gone? Oh, I'll just need 2 seconds, guys. I'll just play this while we get it.
Reasoning. Look at what Wes is doing. He goes, oh, you have an argument to make? Okay, you're referencing this book. Let me just grab it for you. Yeah, it's right here. Oh, the argument you made about this topic? Okay, that's 1,300-year-old papyrus that someone printed a PDF off of the internet onto and called legitimate, and you are using it as the foundation of your argument. Like, I'm just saying, this stuff falls apart so easily. Anyone who actually reads the Bible and has the Holy Spirit in them can sniff this stuff out a mile away. But sadly,
Definitely.
there are those who are new in the faith, including the
Little bit
moderators. By the
discernment.
way, he really did the most. You know, if he was getting paid to...
A little bit of discernment, doesn't take much. Right, this is Wes's actual channel. That's his channel. I haven't put the debate there, but go to his videos, you'll see his debate, the same debate. It's there. It's half an hour longer. Probably he spoke at the end afterwards, you know, something like that.
I got a question for you guys. Do you think everything that is to be known about the Bible and the life of Christ has already been deciphered out of the Bible for, you know, his followers to learn about? Or do you think there's stuff that's in the Bible that has not yet come to light or not yet had a full understanding about?
But there's possibly stuff that hasn't fully come to light, but not stuff that's really important to our faith, as in doctrine-wise or anything like that. And prophecy's already been prophesied. I don't think there's anything to be prophesied anymore. What do we need to know? You know what I mean? So, but yeah, certainly little things we don't know. But and when it comes to like the essence of it, I think we've got it. You know, I think the Holy Spirit would lead us into the truth. Otherwise, you know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I was just listening to that conversation about, him, the Book of Mary and all that, and it being a forgery and whatnot. But there is something to be said about, I don't believe in the Rosicrucian thing where, there was children of Christ or anything like that. But, back then at that time, the time that Christ was doing his thing, he did get trained by Jewish men how to become a rabbi, and you could not be called a rabbi without doing certain things.
Right.
And he was called a rabbi over 26 times in the Bible. So there are some things that could be laid in there that doesn't really have an effect on anything, but God did come to this earth to become a man and live the life of a man. So it wouldn't be too far out of the bounds for his disciples to be calling him rabbi, because he did all the steps to become a rabbi, including schooling all the Pharisees in the temple with his perfect recollection of the Bible and all the scriptures.
But I think it also takes other rituals, right, to become a rabbi, and which
I don't know what they are. I just know one of them would be being married.
But I mean, if you wanna be like human, right, a man, and so that means having to do these horrible things that man can do. If you want to experience, if you need to experience the full spectrum, that, yeah. I mean, I never thought about it, but now that you said it, that might be part of the whole ritual for God, right? To be in touch with what it means to be a man. So that might include unaliving somebody. I mean,
I honestly don't believe that's the truth.
No,
because
but that's what I hear in your contemplation. So I'm just taking this into mind, as we speak. So,
well, to me, like, sexuality is what God created for us to produce the next generation. It's just inherently ingrained in us. And I don't believe killing somebody is inherently ingrained in us. I think people can live their entire life and never feel the need to kill anybody.
No,
there's also people.
Hear you.
There's also people that can live their whole lives celibate, which I can't even fathom. But the fact of the matter is, yes, he became a human, and yes, I believe that Emmanuel, God with us, did a lot of the things that a human would do as a human, because he wanted to he had to experience the fullness of being a man to die the fullness of being a man.
Right, and so that's why I understood it. Like, as much as he would be involved in the process of reproduction, he might also have had the need, just for the full experience, full spectrum, to do the other side. I'm just like I said, I'm just taking it in. It's just
right. This is just a minute, 2 minute video. Wes Huff himself saying I'm getting sued. Like, Billy Carson lost to me in a debate and is now suing me.
Before you start playing it, PJ, I'm gonna have to get off, man. I'm gonna make.
Okay, bro. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna play this and play out the songs. So I'm done anyway. But I'm playing out the songs.
Vi, Jeffrey.
Nice for being here, dude.
Yeah, have a good day.
God bless
Love you,
everybody.
dude.
Everybody in chat. Bye. Bye.
Right. Let's do this thing.
To sue. Billy Carson is attempting to sue me. For those of you who don't know, I was invited to interact with Billy on a podcast that he agreed to come on. It was not his podcast, where he was notified beforehand who I was and what we'd be talking about. After that debate took place, Billy attempted to suppress the footage. That didn't really work. I've released clips from that conversation. Well, Billy does not want you to see those clips and has sent me a cease and desist letter. I was really hoping that this could be an opportunity for Billy to learn, to see the major errors that he's been repeating and turn this into a learning experience. I even offered to follow up with Billy in order to show him how and where he could find accurate and credible resources in order to make sure that what he was saying was verifiably correct going forward in the future, so he and his audience could learn and proceed knowledgeably. Billy did not agree. But unfortunately for Billy, agreeing to a debate, losing that debate, and feeling embarrassed about that loss does not constitute legitimate grounds to litigate.
Definitely not. Definitely not. It's damage control. It's another way of him to try and make money and to think, so his people come back to him thinking he's in the right. You know, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's not swearing.
Billy, I will.
It's excrement. It's Skabala. He
will agree to all the terms and conditions of the cease and desist letter that you have sent me if you agree to run it back, sit down with me in person, and have another discussion. This is my formal response.
Fair play to him. Fair play to him. But yeah, that's it. That's it. So we've done it. We've done the formal. We finally got it done after all that messing about, you know, after all messing about. Tried to get it done Saturday. I've got another video from a guy called What Do You Do talking about I can't remember. It's talking about this here. So I might do that in a few days or whatever. But we'll see. We'll see. At least we got it done.
Hey, but so this guy lost a lot of subs doing this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, definitely. People are in his chat. People are in his comments turning against him, saying, "Look, you look like a fool." You know what I mean? And apparently gone to Wes's and subbed
And so, what was his channel? What is his channel originally about? It just
I really don't know. I'm not sub to him at all.
I think
I
it's
just know
something to do
other
with
people.
Yeah, it's like ignorant Christianity.
Oh, is that what it's,
that would be too funny. That would be too funny.
The guy was manifesting, period. And that's why he lost the script. He could have been by the book, but he manifested multiple times, and everybody who's on the way of the light can see those manifestations.
It's the blue blazer, dude. I tell you, if he just chose a different shade of blazer, he might have worked it out. But it's the blue blazer, dude. That blue blazer, light blue blazers, get you into weird situations. You know.
That's his channel, right?
Yeah, our American Christianity is so. I got a question for you guys. Like, so there's American Christianity, which is like hippie Jesus, like I said earlier, and just completely just, oh man, just beta Jesus. And then there's the Old Testament, right? And then there's like angels coming from God, just killing 300,000 soldiers in one night, and just, you know, doing all kinds of stuff, you know. But like, who do you think is, like, I understand when the covenant of Abraham was ended, it was done. Like, there's no more, you know, the law as far as that stuff's concerned, because we have a new Christ's law, a little bit of a lighter burden, a little lighter yoke. But regardless, there's still a lot of that Old Testament Judaism,
ancient Mesopotamia. Now,
that is part of us, you know, part of our, that wouldn't be a bad idea to incorporate, you know, like their stories are just so rich, and the lifetime of that God trumps the lifetime of our God, which is Jesus, of 2,000 years, right? We have 2,000-year-old Jesus, and then we have 6,000 or even longer, you know, of that other manifestation of the same God, right? And that God is just, there's just so much of a vast knowledge. All his different personalities come out, you know.
Yeah. Well, this is his actual, that last one was just Billy Carson Official, which it had no videos on it. So this must be his main page, Forbidden Knowledge. TV. It's got 1.13 million subs. So I take it this would be his main channel.
Hey, a lot of what Billy talks about with those ancient Sumerian manuscripts, you know, he just deciphers them incorrectly.
Yeah.
The weird thing is,
they really happened.
He has less subscribers than Professor Dave. That's weird. Professor Dave has like 4 million subscribers or something. Like a totally fictional number, you know, for such a content creator, you know, between brackets.
For some nut job. And
like Billy Carson only has 1.4. Come on.
I know. And that madness.
Anybody can hire bots.
Yeah, clearly, right?
Right. Let's get the which is Harry Mack doing today? Blasting off. Right, first song, Harry Mack.
You deserve to get rolled over.
Yo, are you a YouTuber?
Yes.
Nice setup. What's your YouTube? I'll subscribe right now.
Hold on, I'll tell you. But first, can I do a freestyle for you?
Baby, yeah, sir.
Hey,
First one, man.
Let's go.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. So let me get like 3 random words.
All right. I'm saying it. Money. Yeah, fame. And clout.
Money, fame, and clout. And then what you got, man? Let me get something from the other dude.
Diamonds.
Yeah.
I might give him something hard. Astronaut.
There we go.
And juice.
Nice. Money, fame, and clout. Diamonds, astronaut, and juice.
Yes,
right?
sir.
We're gonna do all 6. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me get the right beat though. Hold on. Here we go.
Pause that shit real quick. Pause that shit.
Oh yeah, pause that shit.
Shit, I can't pause it. Wait, give me the remote. All right, bet. I got you.
All right, let's go. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Revive.
Check. 1, 2. Hey, all of these rappers is bummy, hey, they getting play for the dummy, hey, you know we getting the stacks, turn up to the max, we getting that money, yeah, y'all know we keeping the money, hey, all up there in the stash, yeah, y'all know we getting the dollar bills, y'all know we stacking the cash, hey, y'all know we getting them Benjamins, every time that I rap, people go snap, every time that I'm kicking the line, they about to react, hey, we be the best in the game, hey, we out here spitting the flames, hey, I drive them all so insane, hey, rappers be chasing the fame. Hold up, never me though, cause I won't get distracted. Shining so bright, would've thought I was backlit. Harry Mack, every time we rhyme, he's a savage. Y'all know we be going way above average. Yeah, when I'm rapping, I be so crazy. Peace to both these cats, they be rocking Old Navy. Yeah, y'all know that I read it off the sweater. Hey, when it come to bars, y'all know I'm about to put that together. Yeah, calling out the brand, hey, make them understand. Hey, y'all know when I throw it up, it's never about to land. I'ma put it down. Do it no doubt, coming up with wet ideas during the drought. Yeah, Harry Mack, I'm making a scream and shout. All these other rappers only do it for the clout. Hold up, I don't do it for the fame, nah. I do it for my own reasons, yeah. I do it just to show everybody up in the industry that I'm cold freezing. They ain't even believing what I be bringing. Off at the top, I be rapping and singing. They be clinging to like every word. When I kick a lyric, it be so absurd. Check how I'm shining, I'm in alignment. They bugging out while Mackin' is rhyming. Right to the top of the mountain, we climbing. About to get necklace and fill it with diamonds. Yeah, y'all know that the Mac about to go next. I'm about to put a bunch of rocks off in the Rolex. Yeah, they can't believe it. Tear y'all to pieces. Sweet Jesus, I jot a thesis. I earn more stripes than Adidas. You need this, best believe it. Yeah, Harry Mack, I'm coming through. Yeah, plenty of different styles. That's what Harry Mack be running through. Now check it, I be leaving y'all in trouble. All up in the shuttle, blasting off. Hold up, all up in the shuttle. Wait, dog, I must be an astronaut. Yeah, y'all know I'm going out to space. Hey, Harry Mack, I'm staying on the chase. Hey, coming with the bars they embrace. Every instrumental is about to get laced. Check out the way that the Mac can get loose. When I be rhyming, yo, I got the juice. Yeah, Mac coming through to make you holler. Hey, I got the juice, I got Dwala. Yeah, Harry Mack, I'm all up in the mix. Ask for 3 words, but I use all 6. Yeah, you know we gotta record this. No way to abort this, gotta support this. Harry Mack, when I'm rhyming, I'm way too musical, beautiful, every flow gorgeous. Yeah, I be we out here spitting with a passion. Yeah, these homies, they be Old Navy matching. Yeah, and y'all know I'ma make it understood. He got the tie-dye, other one, he got the zip hood. Hey, show y'all what we about. They be chilling on the brown leather couch. Yeah, every man I be letting lyrics out the mouth. Told you, come up with ideas during drought, no clout. And every time I rhyme, I'm enhancing your whole vibe. And they about to take a chance whenever I be rapping for the people on the Meagle. You know I got them moving and I got my people dancing. What?
Yo, drop the YouTube, bro. Drop the...
Yeah, nice. I like it. Right, next one is Mr. Chezik. Mr. Chezik. Which one is it again? Oh, hold on. Oh, it's Neil. Did I do the Neil deGrasse yesterday? No. So that's for today. Yeah. So Neil. No, you sure didn't. I think I did.
Well, just play it again, dude.
Oh, I was meant to download some else. Anyway, yeah. Okay.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, we know you're telling lies.
Yeah, you played this yesterday, but
Neil
it's good enough.
deGrasse Tyson.
It's good enough to play it again. It is.
Yeah, why not? I'm just looking for another one from him.
Oh, who ate all the pies? We know that you're an actor and need to lose some weight. We're not falling for your bait. Neil, oh, the grassy Tyson. We know you're full of shit. Oh, the grassy Tyson. Why don't you just admit NASA is a fraud and that you're talking out your ass? Everything you say's a farce. Neil deGrasse Tyson, we know that space is fake. Everybody laughs at you now that they're all awake.
Nice.
It's so silly that it got class. You know,
Absolutely. Right, so I've got it was meant to be this one. Instead of downloading that, I'll just go straight to his channel and just take it from there. It's meant to be this one with that. Can't remember the astronaut's name. He's always in the ISS, allegedly. Right, this dude. Right, so we're bottom, yeah. Just do that. And give him a like. Blow him up. Good.
This is yet another YouTube algorithm censored and shadow banned song by Mr. Cheswick, and it's about taking back ownership and control of your mind. Thinking for yourself and acknowledging that the world we live in is very different from how it is being presented to us, and it goes a little something like this. I know oceans aren't bending on a floating spinning ball, but that's what they made me believe before I even walked. Now I'm a little older, maybe a bit more wise. I don't believe in NASA. I don't believe in NASA. Or buy into their lies. I know I'm not spinning round or walking upside down. I broke free from what they told me back when I was blind. Every day I count my blessings. I'm free from the ball. Now I want to celebrate with you one and all. I don't believe in that love. I don't believe in that love. I am too good at lies. I don't believe in that love or recognize their lies. I don't buy their stories of lights up in the sky. They tell me that I'm spinning round and oceans they will bend. But I don't believe their stories. I tell you that, my friend. I know that my senses can work out what is true. So I don't need no space advice or theories from you. If you believe absurdities told by Professor Dave, then you will have your mind enslaved until your dying days.
Yeah.
I don't believe in NASA or recognize their lies. I don't buy their stories or lights up in the sky. They tell me that I'm spinning round and oceans they will bend, but I don't believe their stories. I tell you that, my friend. Oh, I believe their stories. I don't believe in NASA. I don't believe in NASA. I'm done with all their lies. I don't believe in NASA. I don't believe in NASA. I'm through with their lies. I don't believe in NASA. I don't believe in NASA. I'll say it one more time.
Yeah, man. Nice one, Jose. I'll put in a little comment, huh? Yeah. Oh, and Nathan Oak was last comment, huh? No, there. Nice one. So yeah, Mr. Super Sidewinder, and then there was me. I'm still trying to watching. Cool. Yeah, I've gained 9 subs today. You can obviously, and you can unsub afterwards. But yeah, bless you guys for subbing anyway. Thank yous. 9 people, it's not bad. Okay, let's do a Mr. Super Sidewinder. Mr. Super says he's got a new one coming, but he hasn't put it out yet, so I wasn't able to download it. So we'll have to do one of his older ones. Let's just have a quick look. That one. Okay. That one. There.
Well, I saw her through the window today. She was sitting at Silver Spoon Cafe, and I started to keep going, but something made me stop. She used to love me a lot. She looked lonely, and I knew the cure. Those old memories would win her heart for sure. Well, I thought that I'd go in there and I'd give it my best shot. She used to love me a lot. She used to love me with a love that wouldn't die. Looking at her now, I'm not sure why I beside her and she smiled. She said, where you been? Hey, it's been a while. And she looked so glad to see me that I could read her thoughts. She used to love me a lot. So I reminded her how good it was back then. I told her that we could start again. Let's just spend the night together and take up where we left off. She used to love me a lot. Yeah, she used to love me with a love that never died. Looking at her now, I'm not sure why I said goodbye. Would only take a minute to turn back the clock. She used to love me a lot. Well, I panicked as she turned and walked away. As she hit the door, yes, I heard her say, yeah, I'm in need of something, but it's something you ain't got. But I used to love you a lot. Yeah, I used to love you a lot. She used to love me a lot.
Yeah. Nice one, Mr. Super Sidewinder and Look Askins. Excellent, excellent. So it's just done. It's just done. I'm glad we got that done. Glad I got it done because I wanted to do it since Saturday, but that's done. I might pick up on it in a few days or something with something else to do it. But tomorrow I think I'm going to do it's a video You Are Mop did with something else saying about flat house in trouble or something. You know, Chris from You Are Mop, so we'll have a look at that tomorrow, I think. We'll have a look at that tomorrow. So I think it's more of a flat earth one tomorrow. That'll be cool. That'll be cool. Sure, we'll get some trolls. We'll see. We'll see. Bless you guys. Thank you for all the channels. Let me use the music. Mr. Super Simon, Mr. Jersey. Hi, Mark, obviously. He knows me like. Thanks to people in chat. It's always a pleasure spending time. Thanks to the missus behind me, and thanks to people who are in battle. Bless you guys. Always a pleasure, and I'll see you tonight on Flatz's. That's Flatz's link I just put in a minute ago. I'll put it in again, just for the sake of it. I know you did, baby. I know you did. And 4Jacks. Sorry, dude, you just come in as I'm going. Bless you guys. See you guys later. See you in Flatz's. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. Bless you. Here the sunset's free. It's free.
Indeed.
Indeed. Ta-ra, guys.